You have to have that mindset. You have to, even though it's friends, you still have to put that game face on.
Yeah, you gotta put it out there.
It's really weird. When I have my bowling league, I'm a very competitive bowler. And when we go to bowling league, I'll sit there and shake hands with the other team and bullshit with them a little bit. As soon as the game starts, it's like I have a totally different face on.
You're like Walter Sobchak.
I'm not talking to him. I'm not looking at him. I may say, hey, give him a tap. Hey, good shot. But other than that, it's all business, man.
So you're Walter.
I get
the Big Lebowski.
You might be right.
As long as you don't pull a gun out of your bowl.
No, I'm not going to do that.
And threaten Smokey because he went over the line.
No.
I could picture him doing that, though.
No.
Todd over there. Does no one give a shit about the rules?
Oh man, I tell you, I can get into some stories, but we've had fist fights. Guys start betting money and it starts getting really personal. So.
There was a fist fight in the Big Lebowski after bowling.
Yep, it happened. Dude, it happens all the time in my league. My league is my league's it's co-ed or whatever co-ed. It's male and female bowlers now, and some of the female bowlers kick my ass. I mean, they're like 220 averages. Crazy bowlers, man. They definitely go pro. One of the female bowlers in our league is actually in the PBA, the women's PBA.
That's cool.
Shit,
yeah, dude, it's crazy. And there's a lot of people in my league that have their card, they just don't use it. Let's face it, bowling, you're not making a ton of money as a professional bowler.
Probably not.
You can.
Some of those dudes. Those dudes crack me up, like sunglasses on.
Oh yeah, they. I think I honestly think the networks put them on to do that stuff, or they're trying to create a brand. So
isn't that when the bowling is on ESPN? On Sundays, because ESPN doesn't have football on Sundays, so they start showing. They show the.
I thought it was Saturday mornings.
See, I always thought it was Sundays at noon because once the
could be.
So for me, noon when all the football games start at noon. Mm-hmm. I think bowling starts like on ESPN right then.
Oh, okay.
Or it used to. I don't know if it still does. I haven't had cable.
They've tried to make it hip, but I mean, let's face it, it's bowling. It's just not a real great action sport.
No, but I mean, if cornhole's on TV
and tennis, I mean, you're just watching a ball go back and forth, right?
And Magic the Gathering.
Oh God, that's right.
Guardian down.
Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 20 of Guardian Downcast. We're a couple of dads that talk about all things in the Destiny universe and discuss other things and other gaming and entertainment as well. I'm your host, The Gator, and my co-host Hazel is here as well. How you doing, man? How's your week been? I know you said your wife had a car accident. Hopefully everything's good, man. Everything's good with her?
Yeah, she's good. My week's been pretty good. Pretty much just dealing with the car thing. They let us know today that they totaled it.
Well, that takes care of that.
Yesterday. Yeah, it's dead.
Time to get into the car.
You can shut the fuck up because
you want one, don't you?
No, I really don't. Because I just got the title and we just paid it off.
On
Monday, and then the accident happened. I want to say on Tuesday or Wednesday.
And I'm guessing the insurance company's not going to give you the value of a new car. So.
Oh dear God, no.
That's what sucks. Yeah.
So yeah, that's been my week. Yeah. So what about you, man?
Yeah, it's been pretty good. Been pretty steady. This week, I guess this, was past Thanksgiving week here. It was my wife and I's 27th anniversary. And we went and got some dinner on Friday night because our anniversary is on Thanksgiving. Went to my mom and dad's. I think I snapped a picture of her porch and stuff. It was a really good time. And then we just saw last night, we went to the Hard Rock in Orlando here and saw Nick Offerman. He was pretty good. He would tell some jokes and then he would get on his guitar and do a little humming and strumming, and it's pretty funny. We're more conventional stand-up people, so my wife and I, so we went there and watched it. We really didn't know what to expect, but I was pleasantly surprised. It was really good. So, well, good, man. I'm glad to hear you everything sorted out on your car there, other than you're gonna have to find another one now. That's always fun. Yeah. So, all right, guys. Well, we're all excited to introduce our guest of the show tonight. He's a very active community member and a mod in our Discord channel, guy who I've met in real life, my friend Agent Aech. How you doing tonight, H?
Doing well, man. How are you?
Very good, very good. Well, alrighty. So just an overview of tonight's show, we're going to talk with Agent Aech, find out about his story, Then we're going to test his Twitch reflexes with our fast fire session we call the speed run. We'll also catch up in the week in entertainment and gaming with the three of us. We'll also discuss the latest reveal stream and the preview of the Season of Dawn, the next drop for Destiny 2, which begins next week, December 10th, I believe. So then finally we'll answer Twitter and Discord questions from our community and add 2 songs each from everyone here for our Guardian Downcast playlist on Spotify. Hey, so let's get started, guys. Well, hey, Agent Aech, thanks for coming tonight. And let me ask this first. Tell us a little about yourself. What do you do for a living? You have family, married, where you from? That kind of, the usual deet stuff.
Well, I am as far as my job, I'm a restaurant and bar manager at a kind of a sports-themed restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
Spend a lot of my time in the kitchen kind of managing that, cooking. Occasionally I'll go up front, talk to customers, deal with my wait staff and all the drama that sometimes can come with that. I know, to clear up a little confusion, I'm not married. I know I've referred to Tammy as my wife before because sometimes it's a little easier. But no, we actually are not married. But no, I've got Tammy and we've got, our daughter, my stepdaughter, but I call her my daughter, Avery, and she's 11. Yeah, other than that, man, small town Kansas guy. I mean, not a lot to do in this town of, 5,000-6,000 people, but we get out a little bit and kind of mix it up and, whenever we get a chance. So.
Well, I met your family in real life. I mean, your extended family. It's huge, dude.
Well, so yeah, that funny about that. Like went in, I don't think you really knew what you were getting into because that was all of Tammy's family, right? When we were down
okay.
Yeah, that was all her family. We were down there for her sister's wedding.
That's right.
You had so when you invited us out there and suggested the airboat ride, and we said that to them, like, hey, do you guys want to go? And everybody wanted to go. So, well, I think, what was it? There were like 15 when you walked in, and there was like 15 of us there.
Yeah, my wife looked at me like, what the hell did you get me into here?
Right.
No, it was really fun. My wife and I are both pretty shy normally. So we have our group of friends and family we do stuff with, and meeting, people you talk to online all the time, it's kind of hard for our wives to understand that, that
right.
we know a lot, we talk on Discord every day and we're gaming together and stuff. You find out a lot about people and you get to kind of know them pretty well. So when you see them in real life, it's like, really, it's like you're not really missing anything, other than just putting a face with the picture and the name. So it was a great weekend. I liked it. So
yeah, it was super fun. And I'm glad that, cause that was kind of one of the things that I wanted to do down there, other than like we did, I think we did Disney Springs. They did like all the parks and everything. But other than that, like I wanted to see the ocean. I wanted to be on a beach and I wanted to see an alligator. And
you saw several gators.
We saw several
in person,
and I saw a bald eagle, and
oh yeah, that's right.
I saw it was cool. That was one of the coolest moments when we were down there. So
cool.
Damn, sounds like Wild Kingdom.
It was, dude. It was interesting. So what was Gator? Do you remember? So Tammy's niece, her youngest niece. Do you remember what she just kept chowing down on behind us, like she was eating all the frog legs?
Oh yeah, that's right. You guys didn't know she'd like them.
Yeah, and she was 4 at the time, and she wouldn't eat her chicken strips, but she tore up those frog legs.
Wow,
I thought that was so odd.
That's unusual. Yeah,
that's awesome. So H, tell us about your gaming history, man.
My first console, even though I vaguely remember it because I was so young, was an Intellivision. I actually still have 2 of them. One in the box and one, I don't know if they work, but I have those. From there, we got the NES with the Mario and Duck Hunt and just kind of random games from there. I have a copy of, I've always thought it was The Legend of Zelda when I was a kid, and I was always really excited to play it. And it was, did any of you guys ever like rent games and swap out the cartridges in the cases?
Yeah.
So,
I guess so.
My cousin would let me borrow. I always wanted to play The Legend of Zelda. I'd go to his house, but it was never The Legend of Zelda. It was Spy Hunter, and I always like forget that. But Anyway, from there, owned a Super Nintendo with Donkey Kong Country and various games, and then dove into. I think I bought my first, kind of disc console was the PlayStation 1. I bought that used from a coworker, and then bought the PlayStation 2, and then the PS3. Bought the PS3 at release, and then from there, like, I lived in Texas for a little bit, and we didn't have cable, but I took my parents had bought a computer, and I took that with me. And a friend of mine gave me so my first online gaming experience was Unreal Tournament 2. I don't know if either of you have ever played that.
I remember that game, yeah. Real Engine.
But, dude, that was my jam. Like, that was my first, like, mouse and keyboard playing low gravity, Instagib, capture the flag.
It was very bloody, man.
Hours and hours on that game. And honestly, like, if I don't know what it was, I think I had more friends playing PlayStation or interested in the PlayStation, because I didn't really know any. Like, that was just me. Like, I played Unreal Tournament and everybody else played PlayStation. But I had a few friends that like played SOCOM. So whenever PlayStation got the network adapter, so I kind of followed suit, got the network adapter, and started playing SOCOM online. And then I moved back to Kansas and continued to play PlayStation 2. Well, the guys that I lived down there with, they ended up on Xbox playing Halo 2. And so my first Xbox experience was, I didn't own the original Xbox. I bought an Xbox 360 specifically to play Halo 2, because the first time I played it, I fell in love. I loved that game. That kind of gave me more of that kind of Unreal Tournament feeling that I was looking for, that, I kind of went to PlayStation looking for that, and SOCOM just didn't resonate with me a whole lot. But Halo 2, like, that was my first Xbox experience, was the Xbox 360 to play an original Xbox game in Halo 2. And from there, I've been mostly Xbox since then. I've owned every PlayStation, but yeah, I mean, that's kind of from there. Is I've been an Xbox guy ever since, and now kind of dabbling in PC a little bit, and I've never been a fanboy. I don't bash PlayStation. Even playing PC more, I'm not going to bash. I'm not that guy that says, PC master race. I play games. I'm a gamer. I play everything, so
yeah,
that's about it.
Very cool.
Well, let me ask you this. How'd you find out about Destiny? And do you have a favorite moment you want to share with us?
So Destiny, I think it was the guys that made Halo. I think it was just Bungie, and it was something new. Like, I didn't see, like, they kind of had the Easter eggs for Destiny in one of the Halo games. Like, I didn't see any of that. But I think it was something that Bungie was putting out. Like, I enjoyed playing all the Halo games. I was terrible at them, but it was something that they were doing. They made a good game, and I wanted to check it out. So I started watching videos, all the trailers coming out, where it was kind of like, hey, what is this? It's, space magic and hunters and titans and warlocks and, aliens. And it kind of caught my ear. And it was kind of cool, because I would share a lot of the trailers, any trailer they released or anything. Like, I was one of those guys that posted everything on Facebook, but I would put everything on my Facebook page, and I had kind of an old kind of college days buddy would respond to all of them and comment on all of them. So finally, after all of these trailers and everything, I just messaged him, and I hadn't talked to this guy in years. And I messaged him. I go, hey dude, do you game? And he responded with, I was wondering when we were going to have this conversation. Yes, I'm looking forward to Destiny. Nice. And dude, he's one of my best friends. I talk to the guy every single day, and it was just cool that this game that we all play kind of reconnected. We were just old drinking buddies, and I hadn't talked to the guy. Like, he went to KU and studied, and I kind of moved on and was doing my thing, and we hadn't talked in years. But because of Destiny, now this is a dude I talk to every single day now.
That's awesome, dude. I wish any of my old grumpy friends would game. Not many of them game. I guess I'm one of the exceptions, I guess. I don't know. I've
tried to get a couple of my old Halo and Call of Duty buddies that, because that's another thing that, Gator, you and I have in common, is I kind of came from Call of Duty as well. I had a big group. Our Call of Duty group was so massive that we could fill the 6v6 lobby. So we would have 12 people, and it was 12 of my friends. I knew every single one of them in there, and we would eventually take over an entire lobby and just play. Yeah, so that's how big that group was, and I've tried to get all of them into Destiny, and I
know. I've tried to.
I think there's 3 or 4 of us from those Call of Duty days that play Destiny now, but other than that, everyone is kind of scattered. Some of them don't even game anymore.
I've got the diehard Call of Duty fans who'll play nothing but Call of Duty. You tell them anything and they're like, nah, Call of Duty. And then I've got others that are Battlefield fans. And I've got a lot of, but I talk to them every day too. And they're like, I'll send trailers. Hey, free to play, guys. Destiny's free to play. Give it a shot. What do you got to lose, You think anybody jumped in? Nope.
I honestly think the only thing that would, and I don't want to say pull me away from Destiny, but something that might take up a larger chunk, because I tried the new Call of Duty and it's really good. I really like it, but it just doesn't have that feel.
Doesn't. And
it doesn't have that feel that Destiny does. But I think if Battlefield came out with like a modern combat game, because I'm not a big fan of the World War.
I was just going to say, I'm not either. When they started going World War I and World War II, I was like, pass.
Yeah. If they go back to a modern combat, I would possibly dive headfirst.
Oh, dude, Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4. I got videos on my YouTube channel still from when I played a lot of that stuff.
I'm thinking about signing up. I've got Tammy's brother-in-law. He plays Battlefield 4 still, and so I've thought about getting a month of Origin on PC just to run it with him, just to see how it is.
Yeah.
Nice, man. Any favorite memory from Destiny?
Probably my first Vault of Glass clear. That was my first raid experience, really, is the Vault of Glass, and maybe that first time beating it. And I think the first time beating it, I got the Vex Mythoclast, which, Bungie, please bring that back. I think I speak for the entire community.
All right, you're banned. You're banned. You're out of here.
That was one of my favorite guns. It was so much fun.
Jesus, the first time you got the Vex on the first time.
First try, yeah.
You know what? Destiny's paid me back. I got the Anarchy on my very first clear, so I guess we're even now. But
I've got, I don't know, maybe 2 clears to that, and I haven't got Anarchy. But well, it makes up for it, because I don't think I got Galahorn until Rise of Iron. My first Galahorn was the Iron Galahorn, so I don't know if that makes up for it.
Well, it took me quite a long time to get a Galahorn too, and I remember week 2 in Destiny, it was for sale. Xur offered it for strange coins, and I was like, I don't want a stupid launcher. I want an auto rifle or something cool to use. And boy,
I think I waited forever for the Suros. The Suro.
Yeah.
Wasn't it week 1 he sold Suros?
Yes.
I don't think I had enough.
I didn't have enough either.
Have enough strange coins, and then I think I had the same mindset when Galahorn popped up. I'm like, I don't want that.
See, that's what people don't realize that maybe didn't play Destiny 1 or the early days of Destiny 1. Dude, you had to grind your ass off to get strange coins just to be able to go to Xur. Now you got like 1,600 legendary shards. You go there and say, hey, what do you got for me this week? Oh, got it.
Yeah,
No, all right.
I don't remember the last time I even talked to Xur.
Yeah.
I'd probably say another favorite Destiny moment was like Iron Banner. D1 Iron Banner was one of my favorite things, and I think it was kind of late in Destiny 1's lifespan. It was kind of when they started doing those quests, and there was one quest that you had to go on a 10 streak. And so if you remember, D1 didn't do the like a kill or an assist was a defeat. It was, you had to go on 10 kills. And I think it was the last day of Iron Banner, and it was me and my buddy Lon that I reconnected with. And I think I got it that we were playing one more match. And I think I got it in that last match. And I got up out of my chair screaming that I got those 10 kills in a row. Cause it was just something that I was just on a roll. There was nothing beating me that day. And I got it. And I don't even remember what the reward was, but it was just that feeling of accomplishment. Like you get 10 kills in a row, right? I mean, you always get excited about something like that.
Oh yeah,
of course, man. Especially in Iron Banner. Don't get me. I'm not going to get started on that. I'm going to avoid that issue. Not going to talk about Iron Banner. I'm not going to talk about Iron Banner. Okay. Well, Date, I got a question for you, dude. Where'd the gamer tag come from?
So, my gamer tag history. Are you ready to go down this rabbit hole?
Let's go.
My very first gamer tag was Blind Reaper. I'm honestly the most. I don't know.
So you and Skull are related, kind of.
Maybe.
Nice.
So Blind Reaper. So I'm not very creative at all, and I'm not very original. So Blind Reaper, Blind Skateboards, the little Grim Reaper that's the logo, the kind of mascot for Blind Skateboards.
Yeah.
So that was, and I've never skateboarded a day in my life. I thought that Reaper looked really cool, and so that was my original OG gamer tag was Blind Reaper. From there, my first Xbox gamer tag, setting up my Xbox 360 was Thunder Kizzle.
I like that.
That came from my favorite childhood cartoon is Thundercats, and I just thought that was something that was I don't know, I thought it was really cool. It just sounded neat. I didn't want to do just like Thundercat or whatever, so I don't know how I thought of that. From there, that my favorite movie of all time is The Big Lebowski, so my next gamer tag was El Duderino.
Nice. No, that's awesome.
And which is funny because I don't act like the dude. Like Gator, I don't know. I've been pretty chill in the games that we've played, but I probably act more like Walter than the dude. Like I can rage pretty hard at some things, but
yeah.
And then from there, so when I first kind of wanted to be part of a larger Destiny community, I had this. Honestly, when I first discovered streaming, and I came into like listening to podcasts and watching streams really probably the second or third Guardian Con, I can't remember, but I had this ambition that I wanted to stream, and so I didn't want to, I don't know, I felt like El Duderino, I was going to have to put on this persona of the dude if I streamed.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think of something different. I ran through a bunch of things. At one point, I was going to be the Harshinator. My last name is Harsh. And that was just, I don't know. It was, so I'm like, man, that's cheesy. I don't want to do that. So my buddy, he refers to his son by his first initial, C. He calls his son C. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, man, that sounds really cool. But there's so many J's out there, right? There just is. Mm-hmm. And so I'm like, so what if I just use the initial of my last name, H? And I had just finished reading Ready Player One, and I really liked how they spelled H in Ready Player One.
That's right.
Nice.
And so I'm like, I'll just go by that. But H was taken everywhere, and I wanted to have the same across the board. So at the time, I was really excited for the Division 2, and so I just Agent H. That's kind of where it came from.
That's a great story.
Yeah, the unoriginal gamer tags. What's really cool though is if I ever want to go back. So the good thing about Xbox is when you change your gamer tag, it goes immediately. It's available. And so I would create email accounts, and I went back and captured. So I was never Blind Reaper on Xbox, but I have Thunder Kizzle and El Duderino on Xbox still to this day.
Dude, I got to share this. I did the same thing, man. I made a ton of gamer tags. I think I have 15 email addresses with different PS4 accounts. It's crazy, dude. I just would come up with something, or I'd be out working and I'd see something. I go, oh, I like that. Write that down. Or you hear something on the radio. I like that. Write that down. That's crazy. So
if I do, which I do eventually plan on getting another PlayStation, but on PlayStation, I do still have Blind Reaper. That's where I was. Cool. Blind Reaper was on PC, on Unreal Tournament, and then on PlayStation.
Yeah, and it's got to be nostalgic too. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, so Blind Reaper and El Duderino are both on PSN, and then Thunder Kizzle, El Duderino, and now Agent H are all on Xbox. So we'll see whenever I decide to change.
I like Agent H the best. I like that one.
Yeah.
I wanted to do just the single letter, because what was the very first Xbox gamer tag was E. It was just a single letter E. And so I'm like, surely no one has H, and it wouldn't let me do it.
I feel completely unoriginal that I've had the same gamer tag since I started gaming, pretty much. Anyway, so H, sell us on Kansas.
Other than Toto and all that stuff,
all the cliche jokes.
Yeah. You can spare us those.
There's tornadoes here.
Yeah,
do you like tornadoes?
That's what I hear.
No, it's not that bad. I think the biggest misconception with Kansas is that it's just flat. There are some, I will tell you, we probably have the best sunsets and sunrises of anywhere I've ever been. You could argue Florida, but my time in Florida, when we tried to see a sunrise on the beach over the ocean, it was cloudy. So yeah, Florida sunrise didn't beat a Kansas sunrise.
They're not as good in the summer, because summer you're always getting those big cumulus clouds building up, because it's we're like England. The weather moves across our little peninsula.
What was crazy is you guys talk about how warm it is, and our last day, I think in Florida, it was pretty well. I think the temperature said like 60, but I know what a cold day feels like, and that wind coming off of that water, like dude, that wind chill was probably at least a good 40, 50 degrees. Like it was cold.
Here's the thing about what people don't understand about cold weather in Florida, and why we bitch about it so much, is it's got a moistness to it. So it's like a sticky cold. When you're up north and it's cold, you bundle up, and as long as you have a good windbreaker, something to break the wind, and you got a good core, like a good jacket. In Florida, it's like it sticks to you. I can't explain it. Let's just say I went flounder fishing one time, and it was only 50 something out. It felt like 30. And a friend of mine from Minnesota I was fishing with at the time, he had a really heavy down jacket, and that was almost not enough. It's hard to explain, and we're very flat, and we have really, if you look at my Twitter, Todd the Gator, if you look at my profile pic at the top, my banner at the top, that's on the west coast of Florida. That's where you can get really good sunsets, just for future reference.
Nice. So yeah, I mean, can't we have the Kansas Jayhawks, arguably the most storied.
Okay. I got a question.
Team in basketball history.
What's this rock? What's this rock chalk stuff? I don't understand what that means. Rock chalk.
The rock chalk chant started from like a class trip, and they were trying to come up with a chant, and it originally was "Rah Rah Jayhawk."
Mm-hmm.
There are some limestone formations I think it's in Lawrence, that is kind of where the rock chalk comes from, and they just thought that sounded better than just "Rah Rah Jayhawk." So,
okay.
I will say that, and I mean, obviously I'm biased, but the times if you ever have the chance to go to Allen Fieldhouse, and that rock chalk chant that they do pregame before first tip off, like that is something that will give you absolute chills every single time. Hands down. Like, even if you're not a fan, Tammy was an Oklahoma State fan. It still is. But I told her, I took her to her first KU game, and I told her, I was like, it's going to change your life. And now she wants to go to a game every single year.
That's awesome. I love that stuff.
Wow.
But they just purchased so James Naismith, the guy that invented basketball, he coached at KU, and the original rules for basketball that he wrote is on display at Allen Fieldhouse now.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
I got a question for you. Excluding the songs that we picked for the playlist today, what was the last song you listened to today?
That's funny. A song that I almost picked, and it is Family Affair. I think that's the name. It's
really?
Family Affair by so it's not the original.
Oh, okay. All right.
So what do I do in Discord? I post cover songs.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So it is the cover of Family Affair by the Eagles of Death Metal.
Oh, wow.
I have this, like, dude, if there's a good cover, like, I have rules for a good cover song. If it's something that is original, like, they keep the spirit of the original song alive,
mm-hmm.
but the band puts their own take on it. And so I'll kind of give you the best example. Like, Simple Man is one of my favorites from Leonard Skinner. It's one of my favorite songs of all time.
Mm-hmm.
The version that the Deftones do is fantastic. The version that Shinedown does, I can't stand that song.
Okay. I'm writing it down.
They also do a cover of The Chauffeur from Duran Duran that is next, like, dude, that's just
Deftones. Okay. Chauffeur. Good. I love music, man. I love listening to all kinds of music, even country. Warcry.
I'll keep throwing those cover songs on Saturday.
Do it.
I try to keep up on Saturdays, but yeah, I'm trying to do something different every Saturday.
Well, we have our scientist lawyer who puts his science facts out, and then we have Skull who puts out little miscellaneous did you knows out. So you can be our cover song guy.
There you go.
There, we're good.
Yeah. So H, what drove your love of music in that?
Uh, listening to, just listening to records with my dad in the basement of our house. I remember just hanging out all that. That's where the game console was, the Intellivision and the Nintendo, and just being a kid, hanging out with my dad, and maybe a bad example, that the funny smell in the basement from when my dad was hanging out down there, but just listening to all of his vinyls, and he listened to everything from, he would listen to classic rock, but he also had like some Rod Stewart, he had Prince, he had Michael Jackson, he had Tina Turner. Before he moved, I asked him, I'm like, can I have your vinyls? And he gave them. I've got 3 crates of vinyls in my closet from just, that was my childhood. So when I, kind of growing up and having a Walkman, the first cassette tape that I had the Metallica Black Album. And I know some people don't like that one, but I mean, dude, I broke that tape listening to it so much. And then I remember there was a cassette tape I got, and it was Vulgar Display of Power from Pantera. And that's when I was like, oh shit, this is heavy metal. And from there, I mean, just heavier. I listened to everything, but that first tape, like this guy giving me that tape, and he was like, hey, check this stuff out. And yeah, from there, I've never looked back.
Well, let me ask you this, H. We talked about how much gaming we all have done in our past and everything, but do you have any other hobbies outside of gaming?
Currently, man, I mean, it's kind of there's a bunch of us that have got back into it, but disc golf. I've
That's right.
loved getting back into disc golf. It was something when I lived in Texas, that was the first time I've ever played. Since then, up until, last year, or this past year, I played pretty casually, 1 or 2 rounds a year, every year. And then, Tammy's cousin is really into it. And so I started playing more, and it was coincidentally right around the time JC Jesse, he found his disc and started playing more. And it was just something that it was cool, because I was in this community. We all have the same game in common. And then, Xanafan was playing, he started playing more. And so it's kind of neat that, there's a chunk of us now. Mitchie Slaps started playing with Justin, and but yeah, I have a course that's 5 blocks from my house, and it's a great course, and they've got 2 layouts. It's got a blue and a pink layout. So I mean, for the most part, it's the same course, but they really change up probably about half the holes. And so I've got, and then Kansas, like Dynamic Disc, one of the larger disc golf disc companies out there. They were founded by a guy in Emporia, and so I mean, that's a 3-hour drive for me, and they've got one of the big national tournaments there. So there's just courses everywhere around here. So
awesome.
I've been really having fun with that.
You mentioned your daughter, and you mentioned her before in the Discord and things like that. What's she up to?
Dude, growing too fast.
Don't they all?
It's crazy. Like I think Tammy, noticed. So dude, this morning she got up. She had a Christmas concert, and she got up at 5:30 in the morning to do her hair
On her own?
Like, yes.
Wow.
So I struggle to wake both of them, like Tammy and Avery. I struggle to wake them both up every single day. And the last 2 days, Avery has set an alarm on her own just to do her hair. And it's just one of those things. It's like,
wow,
this is where this starts. Like now I've got, I see the light flick on in the bathroom, and she's in there with a curling iron and everything. I'm like, holy cow.
You don't know what you're in for, dude.
But she does, she does so many sports. She's got volleyball. Club volleyball is about to start. Next year she gets to play middle school volleyball. Softball is, she has really dove headfirst into that and playing traveling team softball. And I think she's got a softball clinic tomorrow morning, actually, that they have to leave for. And one of the things that, I think I said this in one of the Discords, that probably one of the prouder moments is I've always told her that, school comes first. We both have. We've always told her school comes first. And, I told her she usually gets really good grades. I think all A's and B's. And, I told her if your grades start to slip, you're going to have to give something up. You really need to make sure you're focusing on school. And so this last report card she brought home was all A's. and she made the principal's honor roll at school. And yeah, so that was her response to, hey, if your grades slip, you're going to have to give something up. And nothing slipped. She got better.
She's like, Dad,
she's always had A's and B's.
Yeah.
So
she's like, Dad, I got this.
Yeah, exactly. So,
hold my beer.
Yeah, just don't say that. That's too early.
Just kidding. Hey, regarding, we've been having all these weight loss challenges through multiple Discords here, and I noticed you've been kicking ass at it, man. What's been your motivation to make so many changes?
Dude, I don't want to be the fat dad. I mean, I don't know, man. Like 2 years ago, and I am very like, there's not a lot of pictures of me out there because it's just embarrassing, right? And my low point 2 years ago, and it was kind of right around the time that I found the community, was I was 350 pounds, or 348, like, to be exact. I was 348, the heaviest I've ever been, and it was just, I was miserable. And so I went from just kind of exercising a little bit more, starting to eat a little bit better. I went from 348 to 311. Whoa. And then I did a fad diet, I don't know if it's really a fad, but I did the keto diet, and I went from 311 to 270 fast. I think 4 or 5 months. I mean, I lost a ton of weight, but then when I got off of that, it took, I don't know, maybe a month to put 30 of that back. And that's when, I started seeing Fluffy posting those competitions, and I'll jump into one of these. And I think the first 2 that I joined with everyone, I would lose 10 pounds and then I would put it right back on. Yep,
me too, man.
And it's like, why am I doing that? It's the definition of insanity, right? You're doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. So it's like, okay, I've really got to change. And something finally clicked, and Jay had mentioned it, Gear Dad, he had mentioned it, and then I can't remember if it was Trog or Panda, but both of those guys are great resources too. That's what's really cool about these Discords is everybody's there, and there's so many resources to get help, whether it's, nips with weightlifting, whether it's, I can't remember which one it is, but Trog or Panda with the nutritional advice. But something Gear Dad had mentioned, he goes, dude, 80-20, because what I was doing with my food was I would eat really good. And if I would have a whole day of eating really good, but then I would go to work and I'm like, hey, look, there's French fries, because that's easy to do in a restaurant, right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But I had this mindset of oh, well, I just screwed up my day, so I should just eat like crap the rest of the day and start over tomorrow, or start over Monday, or start on the 1st. And then you never start. So finally, when Jay said, you're in your day, 80% of your day, make healthy choices. But if you have that 20%, like that snack, don't beat yourself up for it. Just get right back on track. And that's what clicked. And from there, it just, once I got in a groove and really nailed down my nutrition, that's the one thing I won't say. I try not to say the word diet anymore because it's nutrition. Mm-hmm. So once I started eating right, and then pair that with, like I did, I rode my bike in the month of June to raise money for cancer. And I've been rowing. I have a rowing, a stationary rower, and I love that thing. But once I started pairing my nutrition with regular exercise, it just shed. And here I am. I don't remember. I'm sitting in the 250s right now, and I don't remember the last time I weighed it 250.
Dude,
I don't.
Dude, that's 100 pounds.
Yeah. I'm real close to losing. I think once I break that 248 is officially 100 pounds. Dude, that's like carrying.
That's impressive.
That's like carrying another human being.
It's like a 13-year-old kid on your back.
Yeah, in my gut.
A small kid.
Yeah, and it was, I don't know, man. It was just, but how I feel, and obviously the holidays are here. This one, I've kind of plateaued a little bit, but but what's really cool about this month is I've kind of more maintained, right? But that's what's cool about it is, you have Thanksgiving, and then there's Christmas coming up, and you're starting to see all these holiday snacks come up, and I've had some of those, but I don't kick myself in the ass anymore over it. Like it's like, hey, I had a snack, so let me get something healthy next time I eat. And it sounds like me and Justin are doing pretty similar things. I know he eats a lot more wraps, but like me with intermittent fasting, like that's another thing that clicked for me is restricting my times of day. So I think I do normally like at 12 o'clock to like 6 or 7, just because I work so late at night that I don't want to. I don't know. It's kind of a weird time frame when I work, but yeah, usually like noon to 6, noon to 7 is kind of the times that I eat, and then after that, I don't.
You'd mentioned JC Jesse. I saw a picture of him with his hockey gear on that he bought. Dude. He's doing a father-son hockey thing, and I was blown away.
It's impressive.
I saw JC Jesse when he first did Dad Tales on YouTube. And I tell you what, I didn't even recognize JC Jesse. I thought that was some kind of stock picture. I said, wait a minute. I took a double check. I had to blow up the picture. I said, damn, that's JC Jesse.
Right.
Holy crap.
Dude, I'll say this, man. Like I joined this community with the intention of like, I wanted to be a larger part of a gaming community, right? Like I wanted I wanted to be part of something with this game that we all play,
right? That
we made a hobby. And dude, like this community's probably helped save my life. Like
that's awesome, dude.
I mean, you know, and that's the cool thing about it is there's so many resources, and there's no one like beating you up if you slip. Everybody is here to pick you up, and
it's always a pat on the back. Always a pat on the back.
Yeah, exactly. And there's like, and again, there's so many resources for your nutrition. Whether it's like even if you want to go like vegan or vegetarian, you got Xanafan. If you like, you know, any kind of workout you need, there's so many resources that are just right there. And then we all share a love for a video game.
Yeah.
You know, I just thought that was really cool. So
yeah, it's good, man.
So yeah, man.
So, hey, thanks, H. I appreciate you sharing your life with us, man. It's one of my selfish reasons I do this podcast is just you see the gamer tag in game or in the Discord, and you always wonder, hey, I wonder what that guy's like. I wonder what his life's like, And that's the reason we do these interviews. At least I do. But
same.
Yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate that. Appreciate your honesty. And hey, I think we got a speed run to do, Hazel. Why don't we move on to that right after this?
Yeah.
Call the Praxic Order. Call the Thanatonauts, the Ginseng Scribes. Call everyone so they can witness you.
So this segment is called the speed run. We have a database of 66 randomly asked questions, and H here will have 60 seconds to answer as many as he can. These are short 1 or 2 word answers, and we're going to keep track of how many questions were answered by each guest each week, and they're randomly asked, so there's no one way to memorize the order, and you have to answer quickly, whatever comes to mind. So at the end of the year, which is approaching quickly, the guest with the most questions answered will win a nice prize. And tonight, I'm going to ask the questions randomly from the list. Hazel is the timekeeper and the quality control expert. In the event of a questionable answer, Hazel's decision will be final. JC Jesse and Dan Finity are the current leaders at 19. So, ready, H?
Let's do it.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. If you had more time, what's one thing you would do with it?
Go to school.
Is racing a sport?
Yes.
Would you live in a cave or a treehouse?
Treehouse.
Favorite holiday?
Halloween.
Would you be invisible for a day or fly for a day?
Fly.
Human, awoken, or exo?
Exo.
Apple or Android?
Apple.
Fusion rifle, shotgun, or sidearm?
Fusion.
What would be your ideal career or job?
IT.
Void, solar, or arc?
Solar.
DC or Marvel?
Marvel.
Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
What was your first gaming console?
Intellivision.
Drifter, is he evil, yes or no?
No.
What was your first video game?
Mario.
Cake or pie?
Cake.
Your favorite superhero?
Batman.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Name one possession you cannot live without.
My phone.
You a morning person or a night owl?
Both.
Warlock?
Okay, time.
All right. That's pretty smooth. Pretty smooth.
Hunter, by the way.
Wow. What we got, Hazel?
Not to be controversial, but at 30 seconds, you had 8.
Fantastic.
So everybody else usually gets 10. Then you picked the hell up and got 12 more.
Wow.
Are you shitting me?
That a 20?
That's a 20.
We, of course, I just want to mention this. Hazel was a little under the weather last week, and we told Dan Finity he got 20 correct, and he was elated. And I'll tell you one thing. Dan Finity, he is a fun guy. He'll joke and crack jokes with you and have a good time. But as soon as we mentioned this speed run, he got real quiet. It's really strange. He really got into gamer mode, and we thought he had 20 last week, but I played it back. I listened twice in real time, and I'll just let you know, the speed run part of this competition is all live. I don't edit any part in that section. So now if I go after this, then that'll edit it out. So, but 20, that makes you the leader, H.
Wow.
And of course, we'll verify it. If for some reason it's less than that, or maybe something wasn't counted or counted again or whatever, I'll make sure that I'll add something after this to mention that. Go to post. It'll go to
the replay booth.
Exactly. It'll go to the replay booth, and it'll go.
Every other sport's doing it.
Exactly. So hey, good job, man. That's 20. I don't know if that might not be beat. That might not be beat.
The funny thing is where everyone struggles, like favorite actor Jeff Bridges, favorite book Congo. Like I had all those in my head.
They never came up. They never came up. Well, awesome. Just a side note, I just wanted to let everybody know that we have planned to add more questions for the speed run next year, and we're now at 66 randomly asked questions. I think we're going to go to a clean 100 next year, so it'll be even harder for guests next year to do it. But we'll have a full year to compete. So, but
and the community questions are fantastic.
They are. I was just going to mention that we added a special channel in our Discord labeled Speedrun Question Ideas. So if you are thinking one day what would be a good, short answer question, whether it's Destiny related or real life or whatever, throw them in there. I just cleaned out all the pinned questions in that channel, so it's all open now where I can pin more. So keep them up. Keep throwing them in there.
Questions are crazy.
They are really good.
All of them are awesome.
Yeah, and they're really good. So soon we'll be gathering all those up. Me and Hazel will get together, and by committee we'll figure out which ones are staying and which ones are going. If we use your question in the show next year, I'll make sure to give you credit for it. So, like I said, I think our goal is to get 100 questions. And I really just want to say thank you to our community. Thanks for all the input. And we're definitely going to make things even better next year. We're kind of new to this, so we're working on it. So hang in there with us. All right. Well, let's move on to our next segment. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the part of the show where we talk about entertainment and what we've been watching this week. So, H, what you been watching this week, man?
I haven't got to watch a lot this week, but generally I don't watch a lot of TV. I just don't have time, but I have dove into The Mandalorian. I'm now 2 weeks behind. So that is something that we'll have to catch up on Sunday.
Me and Hazel will troll you. Okay.
I've recently been in a Star Wars rewatch with the family,
nice,
leading up to The Rise of Skywalker.
Disney Plus? Through Disney Plus?
Yeah, so Disney Plus.
Nice.
I don't think that the newest one, because we've gone through. So thanks to Gear Dad, I had the original theatrical versions of the original trilogy on Google Drive, and so we did not watch in chronological order. We watched in order of release.
Okay.
So we started there and then went to the prequels, which I'm going to say, like, unpopular opinion, the prequels, guys, are not that bad.
I like them. I like them.
They really are not. Like, so, I mean, put it to you like this. Like, everybody, and I had this conversation the other, everybody hates Jar Jar. Most of Jar Jar's screen time is in the first episode. After that, he's really not seen. So what's the problem with the other two movies? Because Jar Jar's really not there.
Yeah.
I'll give you Anakin. Anakin was absolutely annoying. But
yes, he was.
He was. And I look at it like this. I don't know. The movies, and Jay has said this before, the movies weren't made for us. They were made for our kids. And it's cool watching those movies because Avery's experience with Star Wars was the newer movies. We went to the theater and watched Solo, watched Rogue One. She watched Attack of the Clones, but she had never seen those movies before. So it was something really cool watching those with her. And then those original, like those movies that came out before even I was born, watching her watch those for the first time and really enjoying them and diving into them. Like it's just one of those things that like, that's the best. Right. You know? And so I look at all of that stuff with, she loves it and she's dove in. So that makes me happy. Other than that, like we've been doing that. I do watch, kind of my kick right now is reaction videos. I've watched this YouTube channel called Frankenstein's Lab, and it's these two guys just hanging out and watching stand-up comedy. Like they watch stand-up comedy bits from like Bill Burr, Burt Kreischer, who I get to see in March, you know, Joe Rogan. Like it's just these two guys just watching some of these comedy bits for the first time. And I'm so stuck on that. Like, it's just, I don't know why I like watching these guys watch comedy. I don't know what it is. So I'm stuck on that. And then there's a documentary. I don't really watch a lot of documentaries, but this one kind of stuck with me. I think it's on Amazon Prime. It's called 3 Identical Strangers. Have you guys heard of this?
No, I haven't seen this one.
Oh, okay. I think I have. Yeah.
This is by far and away the craziest story I've ever seen in my life. What they did to these siblings is, in my opinion, it's unheard of. So it's this guy, it starts out and he's going to college. It's his first day of college and he's going on campus. And he's walking through campus and everyone's like, "Oh, hey, how you doing? What's up, man?" Like, I don't remember the names, but but they're calling him somebody else. And they're like, and girls are coming up to him. Everybody's coming up to him and saying hi. And he's never been there. And so this other guy walks in his dorm and he's confused. He's like, "What is going on?" And this guy walks in his dorm and was like, "Hey, what happened? Like, what, you were adopted?" He goes, "Yeah, I was adopted by this certain agency." And he goes, "You have a twin brother." And so he's like, "Come with me." And so they go to the payphone and they call this other guy and he gets on the phone and he hears himself on the other end.
Wow.
And so it ends up straight up, it's his twin brother, right? And so they reconnect, they meet. It becomes this big story how they were both adopted from the same agency, this and that. They meet. Turns out that when it gets printed in the papers, there's a third one.
Wow.
He opens up the paper and sees 2 of him. Turns out these 3 brothers, the same adoption agency, adopted. It turns out it was a social experiment. This psychiatrist had these brothers and they got adopted, each one to like a low class, a middle class, and a high class family. They put them in 3 different situations, and none of the parents knew that they all had a brother, because all of the parents were like, if we would have known they were triplets, we would have taken all 3.
Right.
Like, and so it was this big secret. Well, then they're like, okay, well, how would they know? Like, it turns out, like, how would they have known they would have went into these different situations? Because they all 3 had older sisters that went into those families as well. Like, it is the craziest story I have ever heard, and it's 100% accurate. Like, 2 of the brothers are still alive. They went on, like, when they met, I think a lot of it took place in like the 70s and 80s, but they were popular. Like, they were very well known. They started going on talk shows and they owned a restaurant and this and that. But dude, when you watch that, it's chilling to think that other humans could, I mean, dude, they performed a social experiment on kids. Like, they all 3 remember like having people coming to the house, like asking them how they're doing. Like, they all remembered that growing up. Like, we thought it was someone from the adoption agency just kind of just checking up on things. But they were interviewing them, seeing how they were reacting in the situations they put them in. Dude, it's wild. It is the craziest thing I've ever seen.
Well, that's going on my queue.
Yeah, I've heard about that before. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah. And then other than that, entertainment-wise, the Witcher books. Thanks, Nips. I'm 100% sunk into those audiobooks right now. And that's it.
What about you, Hazel?
Well, for me, I finished up The Haunting of Hill House. That was fantastic. And not nearly as scary as the trailers would lead you to believe.
And what platform is this on?
It's on Netflix.
Okay.
But yeah, definitely not nearly as scary as the trailer makes it out. Pretty much like in every episode, there's like 1 or 2 scary things that actually happen.
Now, is it like a jump scare or is it a psychological mess?
It's ugly. I mean, some of it is like there's like 1 or 2 jump scares. That's about it.
Okay.
Have you gone back and found the hidden ghosts that they posted on their Twitter feeds?
Yeah, I did. That's the thing is that I've actually gone back and I've started like watching the show again, just because it's a really good show and it's got some social commentary and parental
it's
thoughts.
Really good. I think the only hidden ghost that I found on my own, I think when they were crossing the rooms and there's those suits of armor, like the coat of arms that's in the hallway. And when the mom, I think, is walking back and forth looking for her daughter, you could see the head is turned a different direction one of the times she passes through, and that just gave me chills.
Yeah. I found the one of them that was like in the first episode. For those of you that don't know, basically they have like hidden ghosts that were basically like kind of like Easter eggs. They don't really mean anything, but it's just that is they're hidden ghosts and you can find them and they're just there. But the one that I saw that completely like freaked me out was in the first episode. It's like there's like this face between like these 2 pillars on like going down the steps, like the 2 like banisters. And I was like, what the fuck is that? I paused it before I even knew about the ghosts. And I was like, there's a ghost there. There's like a face. And yeah, it's very, very cool. So I've got that going. All right, I finished that. Definitely highly recommended that. Besides that, I'm listening to the Witcher books as well. I've actually stopped playing The Witcher, but I'll talk about that later. But what else have I done? Or something else?
Any business books this week?
No, not really.
Okay.
Like maybe The Witcher. Maybe that counts as a business book.
That's good enough.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. There was something else, but fuck it out.
Been a light week, huh? Well, it's the holidays, man. It's time where kids you're having to start doing the stuff, the Santa Claus visits, and all that stuff. Yep. So it keeps you busy.
Yeah, we did the Santa train ride. So yeah.
Well, this week's been really busy. And with Thanksgiving, and our 27th anniversary was on Thanksgiving. So movies, we only saw one this last week. It was Knives Out. It had an all-star cast. I think it was Jamie Lee Curtis, Chris Evans, Toni Collette, Don Johnson, Michael Shannon, and then, of course, Daniel Craig as the private investigator. He's kind of tasked with determining he's trying to trace the events of a really bad night where an important person dies. And it's a very good whodunit. And I haven't had a good whodunit movie in a while. And had a really great twist at the end. I really liked it. It was worth a watch. I think it's 97% certified fresh from Rotten Tomatoes, from critics, and 92% from the audience. So I agree. That was really good. I'm pretty harsh on movies because I see a lot of them. I give it about a B overall. But I thought it was really good. So definitely want to go see that this holiday if you get the chance. I know there's a lot of competition right now for holiday movies coming out, but of course with Star Wars on the 20th. But I also started watching His Dark Materials on HBO, and I gotta admit, man, I'm in. I can't get enough of this show. I get an adventure story, kind of a Hobbit vibe from this new series. And I've also been watching The Mandalorian, of course. I just watched episode 5 tonight when I got home from work. I'm really liking it so far. I like it. It's progressing at a pretty good pace. It's not stale or stagnant, and I love the Star Wars universe, so I'm in automatically. But they seem to be moving along the story pretty well, and I'm not going to give any spoilers. So I know it's a fairly new show, and maybe a year from now we can discuss all about that. But for now, I'm not going to say anything.
I think something about that show with that being a week-to-week show. I really like the.
Yeah. And think about it. How many Star Wars shows series have we seen over the years? Not many.
Right. I mean, other than animated.
Well, yeah, the Clone Wars, yeah. But
I think it adds that water. You can have that water cooler type conversation with your coworkers or your friends that instead of, oh, hey, did you watch The Mandalorian in 2 days, the first day it came out. Like
Right.
you can actually have those week by week
Yeah,
conversations.
it
and look,
just
you have
like
something to look forward to.
yeah, it's just like Game of Thrones, kind of the same vibe, you know. You're trying to see, okay, well, what's going to happen this week? Well, wonder where this is going there, and that, like I said, I don't want to get too detailed, but I'm really liking it. And I tell you what, I know people have stated that Disney's ruining the original Star Wars and they're trying to put it to bed and come up with their own ideas, but I've really liked the direction for the most part, because I'm a diehard Star Wars fan from the beginning, and I like what Disney's doing with the Star Wars universe. I know they're trying to get it to appeal to more kids and stuff, and they have a really fine line where they have to appeal to the older guys like me that saw the original movies, and of course the young kids who are starting out, and they want them to be enveloped into the universe as well. So it's a tough thing.
It's a tough thing, but what are they doing though? Because we're like, we can all say that, but we're still watching it.
Of course, we're in, man.
It has its criticisms, but
Yeah.
we're still going to be there in the theater the first week it comes out.
Yeah, of course. I'll be there on that first week it's opening. On December 20th, I'll be there. I can book in advance because of my Stubbs A-list thing that I'm with AMC. It's pretty nice. I can book ahead, quite far ahead.
I think we've decided we're going not that first weekend, but I usually get 3 or 4 days off over Christmas.
Oh yeah.
So I think that's what we're going to do, because a lot of theaters. My first job was a movie theater, and we were always open Christmas Day.
Of course, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was the silliest thing, but you would be surprised at how many families go to the movies on Christmas Day.
Well, think about it. You got Christmas in the morning with your family, then you go to your parents for lunch, and you get home, and it's like, well, it's only like 4:00. Let's go see a movie.
Yeah.
You know, you got the kids, you got everybody there. Nobody's got to work the next day, so it's perfect. I think, I've heard that people that have previewed this movie have walked out. I'm like, to each their own. I just love science fiction movies. And I'm not one that takes sides, Star Trek versus Star Wars. I like them all, man. And that was one of our questions for next year is Star Trek or Star Wars. And my answer is going to be real simple. Both. I like them both. So not to get too deep in the weeds there, but I did, per JC Jesse's recommendation, I started watching The World According to Jeff Goldblum. That's on Disney Plus as well. It's one of the new episodes. I've watched the one on tattoos. I've watched the one on ice cream and sneakers, and I gotta like it. I think I'm on the one about denim right now. I haven't watched it yet, but I like the way it is. It's I'm trying to think. It gives me a vibe of like that one series, Adam Ruins Everything. Have you ever heard of that one? Adam Conover, he debunks stuff or finds out more about stuff. Like Adam Ruins Everything or something. I can't remember what channel it's on. I think it's like Bravo. But I kind of get that vibe, but it's a positive vibe though. Jeff Goldblum, he's kind of just laid back and cool and chill, and he talks about and gets into depth. Talks about goes to like tattoo not seminars but cons or whatever you want to call them, and talks to people about it and asks them, from someone who doesn't really know much about that, what's the big deal about tattoos and stuff, and he goes really into it. So I concur with Justin. That's a great show for Disney Plus. Great addition. And now I did for Cyber Monday. I got the YouTube TV. I had a deal where you could try them for 3 weeks, risk free. And so I said, "What the hell? I'm in." I was already thinking about getting YouTube TV because you have an unlimited DVR. Currently, I have DirecTV that has like a 20 gig DVR built-in hard drive or whatever, and my wife's always freaking out because it starts filling up, and she'll go on binge watches to get stuff off the DVR. I always hated that. So the way YouTube TV is now, you have this virtual DVR, and you go to your page, and you have stuff that's live, you have stuff that they recommend, and then they have your shows and all your shows, and they last for I think they hold them for 9 months before they fall off. So if you're not going to watch that show in 9 months, and you got problems. That's all I could say. But I did watch one of YouTube's original programming called Cobra Kai. If you're a big Karate Kid fan from back in the day.
How good was that?
It's not okay. It's not Mandalorian quality.
No.
I mean, it's a lower budget. You can tell it was a lower budget, but I tell you, the acting is passable. They have the
acting's passable, and I thought the story was really cool.
I think the story's good, and it got to more daily problems, that with Daniel LaRusso and his enemy. You remember his name?
Johnny.
Yeah.
Johnny.
Sweep the leg, Johnny. Is
Yes. Yeah. Johnny. Well,
That's his first name, right? Sweep
Yeah.
the leg?
Yeah, is that what it is? That's his. Yeah, that's it. And it talks about his daily routines and how he's having bad luck. And Daniel LaRusso's, of course, owns a car dealership, and he's doing really good in life. And he's got the 2.3 kids, beautiful wife, and all that. And Johnny, Johnny's.
How much did you get through?
I'm in. I think I'm on the 4th episode. So I have.
Okay.
Where he built the dojo, and now he's getting all these students that are coming in because of a viral video. I don't. It's been out a while, so I guess with the cat's out of the bag.
It's been out a while.
So
I haven't seen season 2, but I had YouTube.
No, yeah, I don't have season 2 yet, but I said, what the hell?
That was my question about that YouTube TV service was, do you get their originals? Because there's another
show you do
on there that's called, I think it's called Wayne. Looked, the trailer for it looked so good, and I just never signed back up for it, so I've never seen it.
I'll let you know about that. I'll look tonight. Before I go to bed, I'll look and see if it's on there. But
that show looks kind of crazy. Yeah,
so 3 weeks free, can't beat that. And I've always wanted to try it, but there wasn't really a big trial. It was like a 1 week trial. I was like, well, I really can't evaluate a streaming service in 1 week because one, you don't have a ton of time. So what I try to do is I try to game every night, do my Destiny stuff, and then I watch one show before I go to bed, and that's kind of what I've been doing with like His Dark Materials, Cobra Kai, the stuff on Disney Plus. So that's kind of the way I've been doing things. So, hey, let's switch gears here and talk about what we've been gaming this week. What we've been working on, whether it's Destiny or some other game. H, let me start with you, man. What's been your routine, or what are you working on this week?
Really, I mean, with Destiny, just waiting for the new content. I haven't, but we did PvP League last night, which ended up being. So we did it a little bit different because we had, I think when I signed up, I didn't know if I was going to get off work in time. And so I messaged the Death RX guys and said, hey, I could possibly make it home. Yeah. You got room for one more team. So instead of doing what we did Tuesday with 2 or 3 teams of 3 and kind of doing a 3-round robin, we had 8. And so we just did 4v4 and
nice.
Oh dude, it was a blast.
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun with those guys that night. I brought one of my buddies, R.Funky, along and introduced him to the guys, and it was just a lot of fun. Outside of Destiny, I finished Jedi Fallen Order.
What do you think?
That's my game of the year. So
really? I haven't gotten it yet. I'm waiting. I'm gonna get it.
I won't spoil anything and say anything.
You better not.
That is hands down the best Star Wars game I've ever played.
Wow.
And it's such a fantastic story, and Respawn nailed it. Like when I saw the end, I just wanted to know what I wanted more. Like I wanted another game. I want another game or a series. Like I want to know what happens to all the characters. They just left and it didn't end on a cliffhanger. It just left me like, I have to have another version of this. It was really good. Really, it's my game of the year. I mean, I know it's got some flaws, but other than that game is, it can be punishing. I am ashamed to say that I did drop it down to the easiest level because it does have that. If you're playing on the harder modes, like that game can be very punishing.
Yeah, it really can be. I've been playing it too. And yeah, I mean, I'm so glad that you messaged me about that because I dropped it down too, because I'm like, this is not your typical hack and slash Star Wars game like The Force Unleashed or anything like that.
Right. Yeah.
This is some serious like Dark Souls type shit where, I mean, the game will bend you over and just railroad you into the.
But that's the point. The point is, I usually drop story games to fairly easy because I want to just know the story. I'm just kind of going along for the ride. Now, if I want to play it back later, then that's what the more advanced settings are for.
Even on easy mode, it will. It gives a good challenge, and what's really cool is that you can kind of see that you can't speed run the game because there's certain, like, you have to go to this planet to get this piece to go back to this planet to, because they kind of do that. Like, you go to this planet and then you'll jump over here and then you'll jump back to this planet because you learned a new power or you have a new item that will help you progress. I mean, they kind of get you going back and forth. I can't remember how many planets there are overall, but like the storytelling was just really good. The characters were cool. I went into it, and my biggest critique was, with me being a dad, and Avery saw the game, and she was like, her first question was, "Can I be a girl?" And I had to tell her no, and she was kind of bummed, but not really. I wanted a little more character customization. I think they could have told the same story with letting you just kind of what Assassin's Creed Odyssey did. I haven't played, I've only started that game, but I know that you can play either a guy or a girl, and depending on who you play, like, I think it's a little bit different, but I think they could have done something different with that. But anyway, like I said, it's my game of the year. It really good storytelling, mechanics were good, had a few glitches, but nothing big, nothing game breaking.
Yeah, I'm waiting for Easy's review on Death Stranding. I'm still on the fence on that one. We'll see, I guess.
I'll say this last thing about Jedi.
Huh?
I have an extra code because I had originally bought the game, and when I got my Xbox One X, I got the version that came with a code for Jedi Fallen Order for Xbox. So I threw that into the pool for the weight loss competition.
Perfect.
So if you ever needed a little extra motivation to hop in the weight loss competition, lose a few pounds before Christmas, and you could possibly win in my opinion, is the game of the year. So
yeah,
there's some motivation.
$60 game right there.
Yeah, exactly.
70. It's the deluxe. They gave me the deluxe version with the cosmetics and stuff.
Oh, nice. What about you, Hazel? What have you been doing this week?
So I'm stretching my legs and kind of playing away from Destiny right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird. I haven't turned it on all week. And
Wait a
minute.
minute.
Like,
as Dan Finity would say, perfectly fine.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I've started like stretching my legs. I've been playing The Witcher 3 I played it for maybe like an hour, and then I was like, all right. So I've been like listening to the books too, and then now it's just like, all right, I want to listen to the books now. I want to know like this world and everything else first.
Nice.
So I put the game on hold. I'm going to go back to that after I finish probably the first or second book. And then, so aside from that, what I've been doing is I started Assassin's Creed Odyssey, trying to see if that's going to hook me a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And then Fallen Order. Fallen Order has definitely got its hooks in me now that it's a little more hack and slashy a little bit, now that I dropped the difficulty down, because I start all my games on the hardest difficulty. So it's pretty punishing. And then one of the things that H mentioned about, like, not really one of the flaws with the game is, simply put, it's the loading times. They are more punishing than the actual death, because it just takes forever.
I hate that stuff. It seamless integration is important in a story game, and when you have to sit there, it takes you out of the moment.
Well, it's not. So they do have they do have good seamless integration with traveling, because like if you're going from planet to planet,
mm-hmm.
they do like conversations between the characters.
Yeah,
when you
that's
die.
great.
That's what I heard. That's what I heard. Someone fell off a ledge and they had to spawn all the way back at a certain point. Had to walk right back up to it.
The falling off was pretty instant. It's if you're killed in a fight, like if you get in a fight with like a what were the Inquisitors? If you get in a fight with an Inquisitor
mm-hmm.
and you lose the battle, it takes forever to respawn, because it takes you. So falling just puts you right back at that jump if you fell.
Right.
Whereas dying in a battle puts you at your last checkpoint.
Oh.
And the load times for that are brutal.
That can be annoying.
And then you have to fight your way back to that boss again.
Wow.
So, because you lose all that XP, and so you don't get any of it back until you damage the enemy that killed you.
Yeah.
Well,
so put that like concept and those mechanics, and then crank it to 11 on the hardest difficulty is what I was doing. And I was just like, fuck this game. I'm just over this.
Fuck this shit, I'm out.
Kind of, sort of, yeah. And then I just went back. H suggested it, so I did it. And I'm like, I've been playing it. My wife has been watching me every now and then, just like, huh, look at that. That's pretty interesting. You got 2 lightsabers. She's like, it's kind of like your Darth Maul. Huh.
How cool is the lightsaber customization?
That's pretty badass. Yeah, you can make your own lightsaber, basically.
You know a question I was thinking about related to Star Wars for speedrun next year? See what you guys think. I'm going to run it by you.
Do Wookiees have to wipe their ass?
No, not that one. I thought about that one too. What color?
Okay.
What color would your lightsaber be? I heard that on a podcast today that there's some thing going around the Discords where you can take a little test, and I guess depending on your mannerisms or your personality, determines what color your lightsaber would be. Is it red, blue, green? You know, I don't know. I thought that might be
colored.
Yeah, fleshlight. Exactly.
Like Luke Smith's.
Yeah, exactly. He did come to me in a dream.
I was waiting. I've been waiting for this all night.
He did.
You can go to bed a happy man now.
All right. Well, it's been a pretty light week for me. I've been busy working, and when you're self-employed and the holidays are coming up, and if you want time off, you got to get your work done a lot faster. So it's been pretty much a little bit gaming at night, and then a show, and then bed. So this week I was happy to say I did finally get my Randy's throwing knife, and I haven't used it a whole lot yet, but the little bit I did use it's pretty powerful. I like it. It's got some nice perks on it. It's fully automatic. It's a really nice weapon. I don't know if I'm going to work on the other two or not. I'll just have to see. But right now, I know this is going to release on Monday or Sunday night probably, so it may be too late. But before the reset for this Tuesday, of course, comes the new season. Stack up some bounties, whether they're from, your planetary material bounties. Save up some of those wanted bounties that you get from Spider. That's a good source of XP. It's a good source of Glimmer if you're low on Glimmer. I mean, I think the big one they have gives you 15,000 Glimmer. That's a big chunk of money, especially if you're, upgrading stuff and you're going to need all that stuff with the new season coming up. And we'll talk about that later, but that's been my main thing this week is getting those bounties stacked up. I did hit level 200 on my season pass. That was my goal. I wanted to see how quickly I could do it. I think I'm at 971 with the artifact. My buddy just messaged me today and said he hit 990 on his power and hit 300 on his season pass. That's just insane, but it's pretty cool. Well, hey, thanks, guys. I appreciate you sharing what you've been doing this week. Let's move on to This Week at Bungie. Man, and we got a lot to talk about. Reveal stream. Let's start with the TWAB, and then we'll go from there. So, Hazel, what's up?
All right. So, there's last week's TWAB, too, which is sort of in this TWAB a little bit.
Okay.
But with that, the main things there are the solar changes that are happening. So with it, key things, they're changing the Warlock, the top tree, so you can be like an aerial god with some of those moves. Also, with the Titan, they're changing the middle tree for solar, where basically, I think it's like Way of the Devastator. And what they're doing there is they showed a video on Twitter, and basically what they did now is they increased the height of the tornado that goes out.
Yeah.
And it's like, why jump when you're going to die anyway?
You know what? That's funny you should say that, because I had a Titan. I don't see it very often, but I had a Titan use that hammer, and he tried to blast me with it, and I blinked straight up in the air and survived. And I was like, I shouldn't have survived that. I should have died.
That's such bullshit. Yeah.
Hey, don't give me.
Been dead.
Nah, I was. That's called skill.
You and your fucking cheat codes.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But your cheat codes are not going to be useful.
Yes, I know.
When I become a gunslinger. Yes, I said it. You heard it here. When I...
What?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm going to be playing as a gunslinger probably when I come back.
Wow.
So, yeah. I'm a fan of the heavy knife that the hunter is going to get. So basically, it's like a one-hit kill. And it looks sexy.
I see problems already, but
it will be one hit precision.
Yeah,
Has to be precision.
but that's the way it was in Destiny 1 with the regular
Yeah.
flaming knives. And I remember I could get on a run playing my hunter and just get headshot after headshot because there's a lot of aim assist on those knives, man.
Right.
There's a big hitbox, and I see problems. I really do.
I don't because like why? The hunter's the only one that does not have a one hit kill melee.
Yep.
I know. Everybody's got to get their fair and square. I get it.
Right. Why not help us out?
Well,
And the wind up, the thing I worried about with this was the wind up, right? Because the first thing, high damage knife throw with a long wind up, but when you see that video,
it's not that long of a wind up. No.
And it looks cool, right? Because he like kind of flips it around and then throws it.
Yeah, it reminded me of the last word. Like that animation for the last word, how you flip,
Right.
how you kind of
flip the gun, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, if they would just bring back the, I just want to unicorn people again with my
trip grenades.
Can I stick people with that again, please?
God, I got killed so many times in Destiny 1 with that damn grenade.
I would even take them making that part of an exotic. Like, give me an exotic.
That's a good idea.
Like some exotic gauntlets that let me stick you with my trip mine.
And when someone would stick you with a trip grenade, and you could see it shining on your head, and you're like, "Oh, I'm so dead."
Yeah,
that's the way it should be.
Well, and even do it to where it doesn't explode, right? I think what would be really cool is if you throw it and it just damages them, and then they run around, kind of like sticky grenades in Halo. You could throw it, but it wouldn't explode right away, right? So they could run around and then blow someone else up. That'd be great.
What about a sticky grenade that actually blinded you, like a flash, or maybe it flashed like on and off? I mean, there's some good ideas out there.
You kind of have that with the Night Stalkers, though, right?
Yeah,
like
that's
the
true.
Smoke.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
So,
hey, quick question.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, what's up?
What about a grenade that actually fucking killed people?
Oh, because I dominated with my sticky grenades, and Destiny 1, everybody bitched and moaned. Now no grenades do anything. They're just a joke.
So with my unicorn, like, right, I want that back, but meet me in the middle, right? So let me throw the grenade. Let me throw my trip mine. It hits you, and just like it does on the game currently, if you have to get to another player for that thing to trip, and if you don't get to another player, it just kind of goes away.
The grenades are so weak that you can't even stick them or get an area of effect damage on them and finish them off. It's hard to do. They still have a lot of armor left after a grenade hits them. It's a joke.
Yep. So the other hunter change they're making, though, did you guys see the other video with? So we're talking about that trip mine, and now they're doing the same thing with the knife, so you could pair them.
Yeah,
it's the explosive knife, so you can trap them with. You throw the trip mine, and then you throw your explosive knife, and I mean, apparently the combination of those two will now be a kill.
So Hazel is going to be a slimy hunter. Never thought I'd hear that.
You're welcome.
Never thought I'd hear it. I never thought I'd see the day.
Well, it's like, what am I going to do with a Titan? They're damn near useless.
You punch the hell out of them, and they sit there and laugh at you and punch you once, and you die. That's what Titans do.
Did you clip that? What did he say about Titan?
Don't worry. I review all audio.
Oh, Lord help me.
I've got some good sound bites for Hazel. I'm getting a good library going.
That warms my heart. I'll make sure to keep on saying stupid shit.
All right, thanks. All right, what's next?
All right, aside from that, getting to this week's TWAB, probably like one of the most important things is the Season 9 calendar.
Yeah, let's look at that real quick.
Now, okay, let's hold off on that for now.
Okay.
Because that's going to lead into the live stream.
Okay.
So, some things to know about, basically, coming up for the new season. The power cap's going to go up to 960. Pinnacle's going to be 970.
Mm-hmm.
Some escalation protocol, but who the fuck's doing escalation
protocol? I talk about it because I like this. You don't need keys anymore.
Are you going to be doing escalation protocol?
Yeah, I will. Now that I know I don't have to collect stupid keys. Now that I know if I get to level 6 or wave 7 of the chest, that I'm gonna actually get some armor, and that armor's badass, man. Now,
I'm gonna clip that shit.
No,
because your ass is not gonna run escalation protocol one time. I guarantee it.
I don't know if it's armor 2.0. I will.
It will be Armor 2.0, but
Okay.
your ass ain't gonna run that.
I'm telling you, I love the look at that stuff. It looks good.
If I think if it makes a viable way to farm for 2.0 gear to where you can get that kind of pinnacle roll like that to you is pinnacle, I think it'd be fine. But other than that, I'm not. I don't plan on revisiting escalation.
Now, if I start farming this armor and it comes at level 48 all the time, then screw that. I'll move on. But I like the look of the armor, so I like very modern stuff. It looks really cool. And there's not many things that look good on a warlock, so this is one of the things that look really nice. So.
Well, yeah, I mean, and that's the thing is that the armor looks great on it, but it's still escalation protocol. You're still gotta like slog out 7 rounds before you can get to the boss. Then you beat the boss, and then you get to if you're lucky enough to get people to stay in for another round.
Yeah, I know. It's old. It's older content. I get it.
Yeah. I think if they really wanted to improve it, make it matchmaking, right?
Yeah, they need to.
You don't have to like wait around and get into an instance, or you could just take your buddies in there. I mean, make it matchmaking, or make it
5 rounds.
You can. Well, maybe, but what it requires 9, and we probably don't. Or was it 9 players? Right?
You could get 9 in there if you worked it, but that's
so. I mean, it was just so difficult to get 9 of your buddies together because you had to do so many kind of, hey, go to orbit, come back, go to orbit, come back. Just let it be an activity that you can start from the directory.
Yeah. Or what you do is you get somebody to join you, or you join somebody, a blueberry, and you go, hey, can you give me the lead on this? And then you kick their ass out. It's like,
yeah, can you quit?
It's like, yeah, I'm going to be a dickhead just to get my other buddy in here.
We shouldn't have to do that.
Come on.
I think if they really wanted to improve it, make it to where you can matchmake it with your buds. I mean, that would get me to kind of maybe play it again, but other than that,
I think they got a lot of flack from the community, and they said, you know what, it won't be that hard to do. We'll eliminate the keys, and we won't have to really change a whole lot. It'll make them happy, but I don't think they're going to do anything that drastic. Maybe in future DLCs, with another type of event, but I don't think it's going to change. There's nothing worse than being a single person that activates that tower, and you see people running all around you, but they don't join because they have other things they're doing. It's a lonely feeling when you're there trying to kill everything, even at high power.
Your gunsmith bounties.
Yeah, gunsmith bounties, or you're doing kill majors for your forged weapons. A lot of people go there to do that. So yeah. I get it. I mean, I'll try it a few times. If I can't get enough people to be interested in it, then I'll probably just move on.
Yep, exactly. See, but the thing is, though, is I've already moved on in my head.
I know. I kind of have to. We'll see.
So they are decreasing the cost of slotting a weapon mod from 5,000 to 500.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, I hope somebody lost their fucking job about that.
Someone put an extra 0 in there.
Yeah, exactly. Just scanning over this here just to see.
Now, I got to mention this. Repeatable bounties have been added to the gunsmith.
Oh, God.
I like this. I like this. Because now it's not just 3 gunsmith bounties. Now you can get more. I love it. I love it. There's nothing that sucks more than having to jump, grab your 3 bounties, get them done in half an hour, 45 minutes, and then you can't go back and get any more. I hate that. I love that they have repeatable bounties, and they're gonna give you I think 10 bright dust too. So I don't know. As long as they're still giving enhancement cores, I'm good with it.
Let's hold off on that bright dust.
How about the next one that says remove the Valor, Infamy, and Vanguard tokens because you don't have to do any Gambit last season. That's
what always hurt me with that field calibration. I wanted to do it, but there was no way I was going to play Gambit that week. I was too busy getting, Crucible weapons I was working on.
Yeah, and like Gambit and Strikes. Like I didn't play.
And
I love the Gambit game mode, but I didn't play a lot.
Or you could have people who love playing Strikes who hate Crucible. You shouldn't be forced. And the rewards are pretty good, but you shouldn't be forced to have to play certain areas that you don't want to. Just give us bonus credit for it all. I think that's a good move.
True.
It's a good move.
Yep.
Oh, one more thing.
Yes.
They removed the grenade and melee bounties from the repeatable Crucible pool. Thank God. Because every time I get those,
exactly.
I would spend.
I was going to read that.
I would spend $3,000 on grenade, get 10 grenade kills in the Crucible. And we've already talked about how pathetic grenades are in the Crucible. That's going to take a long time. Spent 3,000 glimmer to get that. I'll immediately delete it and hope that it doesn't pop up again. And sure as shit, I'll get a melee bounty. And I'll be like, 10 melees? I'm a warlock. I don't do melees. It's not my thing, man. I try to melee a hunter or a titan. They giggle and laugh and punch me in the face, and I'm on the ground. So, thank you,
Well, what
Bungie.
I would do with those is I would run into people, like a group of people, punch them once, and then throw a grenade, and it'd kill me and them.
Well, if
So
I had
it's like you hard them.
if I had Thunder Coil, I could easily get it done. But I'm a warlock. I don't have Thunder Coil with my artifact.
Well, in answer to H's question, not if I'm trying to get grenade kills.
That's true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
Yeah, it was like my own personal martyrdom. All right. I'm doing some changes to Code of the Missile, slightly increase the amount of time you have in the in-air after activation.
I like that.
Yeah.
I love the Superman. That's my favorite super.
It's just such a waste, though.
I don't know, man. In PvE, it has a really good damage effect. Very good damage over time. And it has a really good circle. And now that they're increasing the base damage up.
Yeah, the base damage is getting a lot
Yeah,
better.
going from 2,700 to 3,200.
And I'm telling you, that works really good in Gambit if you're trying to clear out an area, especially where your buddies are having a hard time clearing some yellow bars. It's a nice super to have. But there's others too. There's others too that work better. But.
All right. So one thing that I thought was pretty cool was Night Stalker Way of the Pathfinder, bottom tree, is they added a short period, almost a second, after the invisibility is applied where firing weapons or performing other actions will not break invisibility.
I like that.
That's fantastic.
I like that. I like that a lot.
I had posted in Discord a few game clips. That has been my entire Destiny career. I have been a gunslinger, and this season I have gone way of the Pathfinder. I've been a Night Stalker because I love, you go invisible, you get your grenade back, you throw a grenade, you get your melee back. I always lose my invisibility from charging my fusion rifle, and so this brief time is going to help a ton. So I like that. That's a good change.
You lose your invisibility when you're charging the pulse rifle?
Yeah, because you're firing a weapon.
Yeah, it neutralizes it. Instantly neutralizes it.
Yep.
Oh, fuck, that
Yeah,
sucks.
it makes it. The only thing it's good for is maneuvering around the map in Crucible.
Yep. Getting your grenade back. That's what I use it for. I mean, I go invisible and it helps a lot, but that burst, that grenade recharge is huge from going, granting yourself or your teammates invisible is awesome. I've loved that path this season, so that is a very welcome change for me.
And I know it's only 0.8 seconds, but most guns kill in 0.6 or a little bit higher than 1 second. But that's a big benefit because if you're getting the initial shot, your chance of killing the enemy goes way up. And if you have at least almost a second to get the jump on somebody, it's worth it.
Yeah. It's a great change now that I'm going to be a gunslinger once again next season.
And of course, the next thing was the handheld supernova, which this is something I use a lot. Well, not a lot, but they're adjusting the timing of the animations and the special effect so it looks more consistent. I like that they're going to do that because it is kind of clunky when you're using it. And you can only hold it for so long, and then it neutralizes, and you have to do it again. That's the only bad thing about it.
Potato.
Whatever.
So, Crucible maps. Yay!
So happy.
Rusted Lands.
Yes. Favorite map.
Yep. I love playing Trials on that.
It was my favorite Trials map.
Yep. I'm glad to see they added back the Dead Cliffs.
Thank you. It's my second favorite map.
Legion's Gulch. Retribution. I loved Retribution.
It's Call of Duty. It's all it is. It's just a big box. Say, okay, have fun, shoot.
No, Retribution was the circle.
Yeah, it's a big box. It's just shaped in a circle. It's just a tiny little space. Everyone gets their shotgun on and just runs around and sliding shotguns all day.
All right. So in the Discord, can we give Gator the definition of a box versus a circle?
Well, in Florida, that's how they teach us in Florida.
Okay, and your wife's a teacher.
We are 43rd in education. We're moving up.
And Solitude will be coming back as well.
Okay, I like that one.
Yep. They are removing Firebase Echo, which I'm okay with.
Thank you. I hate that map.
Yep. Equinox. Emperor's Respite, which I know everyone is going to be brokenhearted about.
I like that map.
I despise that map.
And of course, Vostok.
And then, yeah, Vostok is the... that sucks.
Good luck getting your scout rifle kills on Retribution.
Yeah, no. Not really. All right. So, there's that. And now, I would say that, things that are leaving, so things that you need to know before Tuesday, which hopefully if this comes out on Sunday, then that's good. You have Monday to do your shit, or you take off Tuesday morning for the reset. And
you're going to hear this. Hopefully you get this on Sunday night or Monday. Grab every bounty you can on Monday and stack them. Don't turn them in. Because you're going to need to charge up that artifact. Every little bit helps. And make sure you have your guiding light ghost on too, so you get a 10% boost.
Such a bounty whore.
That's why I'm level 200.
So things that are leaving: Undying Minds free and premium season rewards. Hey, weren't you supposed to be able to buy like the rest of the rewards if you didn't get them or something like that?
Yeah, it's
open that up.
It's $1 a rank. So if you're 20 ranks behind, if you're at level 80 right now, $20 if you want all the rest of the stuff.
Yeah, it's 100 silver, right?
Yep. It's $1
per rank.
Basically $1 per rank.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I thought it would be, honestly.
I mean, that's fair. I don't know that. I think they could do better by like, hey, if I need 5, let me buy 5 for 4 or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, they'll probably change that next season.
Right. That's the good thing, that they've been pretty open to change lately, right? Since they're not under that Activision umbrella anymore. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, they're looking at things, and that's the good thing, is that they're more receptive to change, and listening to our feedback. So it's good.
Yep, good point.
So Ariana's Vow Catalyst will be going away.
It's too hard to do anyway. Takes forever to get that done.
Yeah, because you got to do like Gambit for that.
A ton of stuff, dude. It's not worth it.
Shit.
Not worth it.
Well, yeah. and if you look right there at the bottom, it says that the Ariana's Vow and Catalyst quest will become attainable through the
future
acquisition paths. Yeah. So it's not going away completely, but it'll be brought back.
So what it is it'll drop as a random exotic, and then doing something in the world, the catalyst will drop like it does for all the other weapons. That's how it's going to happen.
Or what they'll do is they'll drop it for the solstice.
Could be. Good point.
They might save all that shit for the solstice, so that basically drive people to play solstice, so that way you can get it.
I think they're going to do something similar with what they did.
You think it's going to be cookies?
No. No.
It's not going to be you're not going to be
stunned.
It's not going to be the oven?
No, I think they'll do a quest similar to Jotun. And
I meant the solstice event.
Oh,
I'm getting ahead of ourselves. Sorry.
Oh,
cookies will be the dawning, right? Wasn't cookies?
Yeah, the dawning. Yeah,
that's right. Damn it! I hope they do something.
Florida.
I hope they do something similar, because that was fun. Season of the Dawning or the Dawning, whatever it's called, before the summer solstice event. That was fun, man. I like that. I don't know. We'll see. I have a feeling it'll be something like the oven.
Christmas.
Dawning, that's right.
And
solstice.
The Valentine's one is Crimson Days.
Yeah, that was always kind of a light little event.
Doubles, yeah.
Mm-hmm. That was fun though. So, the doubles thing's fun. Where if you're together, you charge up faster. It makes you play together. I like that. I did a lot of stuff with randoms doing that, and it was a lot of fun. It's hit or miss, but it was definitely a fun game mode. Sorry.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. I think I always take a Destiny break right around that time, because I honestly don't think I've ever played any of the Crimson Days.
Well, there's one little game coming out around that time. Don't know if it's... Yeah, I think it is in February. Little game by CD Projekt Red, maybe?
Oh, is that coming out then?
Cyberpunk.
I thought
Cyberpunk.
That was April.
Yeah, I thought they pushed that out.
Oh, then maybe they did. Okay, then maybe I'll still be playing Destiny. Cyberpunk is really gonna. If it looks as good as what with a lot of the reviewers out there saying they're just blowing them away, and that's all they're gonna play. Like Paris Lilly with Gamertag Radio, he's all over it, man, and he's got me excited about it because he's a Destiny player. Now, I know he's the kind of player that likes Destiny like I do, and if he's loving the previews he's seen of Cyberpunk, I may be drawn into it as well. We'll have to see, I guess.
Yeah, April 16th.
16th, thank you. I didn't know. I knew it was sometime then.
It does look pretty good, and it's got Keanu Reeves, so come on now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and CD Projekt Red did another game that me and Hazel seem to be kind of getting into.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's called Gwent. Yeah.
You nailed it.
Yep. Not gonna lie, that 1 hour that I spent playing the game, I never made it out of the first city. I just went and I played Gwent, and what the hell?
I did the same thing. I did the exact same thing.
Yeah,
that's for nips.
Gwent is the shit.
Well, you got the picture I sent you today. I downloaded Gwent on my Xbox today.
I know better. I'm not touching it.
Mm-hmm. One of us, man. One of us.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
All right. Anyway, back to Destiny shit.
Yep.
Vex Offensive is going away. Vex Invasions on the Moon are going away. Vex Weapon Data Seeds from Ikora are going away. Thank God. I hope she takes all my shit with them.
Yeah, I hate that stuff.
I've got so many of those fucking
I do too.
seeds.
I do too.
Use them either.
I got nowhere to put them. Well, I mean, now there's a multi-kill clip pulse rifle, the Adhorative, that you might want to try to farm this weekend because it's the only really good weapon that's come out of that. I mean, the other weapons are okay, but I don't like all that leaf crap on them. It just gets in my view. When I'm looking down the sights, it gets in my view, and I don't like that. I know they're trying to make it not look like a Mercury weapon, but I don't know. I just don't like the way they look, and there's no ornamentation.
Something new.
Yeah,
I think next week. Right?
Yeah,
We'll get
yeah.
something new with the next season.
Yep.
And I bet it'll be pretty similar, which I'm fine with.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Gate Lord's Eye is going away, and the power bonuses. So you grinding to 200 is all for nothing.
No, I had fun. I got a lot of what are those little things? Little orbs you turn into. Why am I so freaking tongue tied tonight? The orbs you turn into to Eris to get the special gear.
My orbs?
No. The Cryptarch things. What the
Cryptarch things?
What the hell is wrong with me tonight? Why can't I think of it?
Engrams?
Ingrams, thank you. I got a lot of the Ingrams. Now here's the thing I didn't like. I already have everything from Eris because I've been playing since day one, so those Ingrams were useless to me. Other than they, gave me some extra stuff to turn into legendary shards. But next season, it will be stuff that you didn't get from this season. So I'm liking that because I did not get everything this season.
Yep. All right. So, all that being said, there was something on Twitch, I believe.
Something on Twitch.
Something on Twitch?
No, I don't recall.
What was it? Was it
the stream.
Season.
That's
Season
right.
of the Dawn.
That's right.
Yeah. And it was funny. It's the new season, for those of you that don't know, is called Season of Dawn.
Mm-hmm.
So the funny thing is that I guess one person put it together on Twitter that so spoiler alert, if you've been MIA or whatever, Saint 14 is coming back in some capacity.
So the season of Saint 14 and the Titan on this show is going to be a hunter.
Sounds about right.
Well, I tell you what, I'm excited because I'm reading that second lore book right now, and they talked about, and the comics talks about a lot too, about what was going on with Saint 14 and about how he, and I don't know if you've seen this, but I've been pinning this in our Discord channel on the Destiny updates. They're putting out, like every few days, they're putting out some lore about Saint 14. I don't know if you've read any of it yet, but the first two ones are great.
Yeah, I read the first one, and it was awesome.
I loved
it. And I'm not really like a lore guy, but yeah, I absolutely loved it.
And
did you guys get, shout out to Laz. Laz posted a link in one of the Discords. He read through that first one, and I don't know if he plans on continuing to do that, But
I like it.
Laz,
wow.
keep doing that.
You have my permission to put it in ours too. Please.
Yes, please do. I want to listen to this.
Yes. And of course you're hearing Laz's silky voice too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he even did. Dude was really cool. He did. He started doing, I think, voices for when Saint 14 would talk. It was pretty cool.
Very nice.
I'll try to find to see where he posted that, but I think it was in the Distinguished Gentleman Discord that he did.
Very cool.
Okay. So yeah, on the live stream.
Yep. Let's talk about it.
Yeah. So what do you? Well, okay. First and foremost, it's going to be set on Mars.
Yep.
Mercury.
Mercury. We're back to Mercury.
Yeah, Mercury.
And we can use sparrows on Mercury. Oh my God.
Yep. Exactly. That's the thing that made me the most excited, besides seeing Saint 14.
Yeah. Punching through that portal. That was awesome.
Yep. Exactly. But so what do you think about it, Gator?
I guess the first thing, well, it was a very short stream. Let me mention that. It was only if you count the countdown at the beginning of the stream, it was 35 minutes. So it was a very short stream. I was kind of like, what? That's it? That's all you're going to talk about? But you know what? I kind of like that they're being a little mysterious this time around. You know, one thing I've hated about Destiny 2 is they show their whole cards. They show all their cards. They say, okay, this is it. This is what we got coming out, so there's no surprise. And yes, now the new season, the way they're doing the new seasons now is they're unrolling the story, and they're unrolling it out slowly, just like Luke Smith said when he was talking about the new seasons coming up. And I like that. I gotta admit, I don't need to know everything. Please don't tell me everything. Tell me approximately what's going to happen, and then throw me out there and let me figure it out. You know what I'm saying? I was kind of shocked that they didn't mention anything about Trials. Because I thought because Osiris and Mercury, all the big thematic, it's all Trials themed, And here's my take, I think, on Trials. I think either Trials is going to come out after the holidays are done, into the latter part of this season. I think they maybe the story unlocks it or something, maybe through Osiris. I'm not sure. But I think Trials is definitely coming. I just don't know if it's going to be coming this season or not. And Cool Guy, if you check out YouTube, Cool Guy had a really good video about his impressions of what he thinks about Trials. And it made a lot of sense, the way he explained it. And shout out to Cool Guy. He really doesn't normally talk about that stuff. He's more about gun stuff and, guns uses. And he does a lot of stuff like that in gameplay and how to do this and that. He didn't really talk about impressions, and this is one video he put out about his impressions about Trials not being mentioned. So go watch that. I guess the big 6v6 event is Sundial. It's I think it kind of reminds me of the thing on the Leviathan. What was that called? The Menagerie. I think it gives me kind of get that feeling.
I heard that comparison too. I think that it is.
This looks bigger than.
I think it's going to be about like Vex Offensive. You're going to get. I think we'll have the same style of bounties, and we'll have the same thing to farm weapons from it. But
right.
I mean, to me, it's another 6-man activity that we can go and kind of grind some things out and farm for some stuff. I mean,
it's busy work.
Yeah, I thought Vex Offensive was similar to Menagerie as well, with the exception of the Chalice, where you can choose your gear.
I missed that.
Through the Chalice. Yeah. But I mean, I think it's just a 6v6 kind of horde style activity that they're bringing in.
I think they're going to have that pretty much every season. They're going to have some kind of 6v6 thing to kind of draw everybody back in. And the one thing I did notice on the stream, Hazel, is it looks like the Mercury weapons are coming back, and it looks like they have random rolls on them. I'm happy about that.
They have to,
I like those weapons. I did. They look good. They look modern. I like the Vexy look to them. Hopefully, they're just a little bit better than the weapons that we got from the Vex Offensive. I hope they're a little bit better, more deadly. We'll see.
Yeah. What do you think, H?
The stream was really cool. I too liked that they didn't reveal a whole lot. The one thing that really piqued my interest was the Charged with Light mods. That is something that is, I don't know. It's a different mechanic that they're introducing. I noticed some of them have negative effects on your, like what one of them said, like -10 intellect and minus 10 strength. I have some concerns because another game that I played was The Division, and The Division kind of dabbled in that a little bit, and they ended up removing that effect. So, I mean, we'll see if it's something that they're trying for this season, and they'll probably see how it works and toy with it later. But it sounds like that's going to be prevalent through the entire game. I mean, that was one thing that they mentioned was that's going to work across the entire game. So is that going to work in PvP as well? So we'll see.
Yeah. What do you think, Hazel?
I mean, for me, it's funny because I'm kind of like I feel like I'm on the outside looking in because I'm not playing right now.
Yeah, but
So
you're still a Destiny player. You're a Destiny player.
I am. And for me, I'm like, okay, the sundial does not interest me at all.
Yeah, I kind of had that feeling. Kind of had that feeling too.
I mean, the same thing that Vex Defensive didn't really interest me either. I mean, it was cool the first time I did it, but then I ran it a second time wanting to see like what was different about it. And I'm like, oh, well, it's the same shit. I'm running the same way. I'm doing the same things. It's not any different than it was the first time that I ran it. And then I got to the boss. I'm like, oh, it's the same boss too. Okay. And then I just kept doing it over and over again. And I'm just like, okay, it's all the same thing. All right. I don't need to play this anymore. I mean, the weapons are cool, but whatever. But for me, the thing that my big draw to it is probably the thing that is they probably put the least effort into. And that's the story stuff with like Saint 14 and Osiris's storyline. So for me, I'm going to come back. I'm going to play that. And then that's probably going to be as much as I do with it for right now. Unless there's like something else with it. Because I really want to see the whole Saint 14 piece. That to me is going to be pretty cool.
Well, there was a video of it looked like an exotic scout rifle that when you hit got a critical kill or something, you'd reload it and it charged it into like a super shot.
Like one hit kills.
Yes. And you know what? That rifle I think I was looking at the battle pass and I don't have it in front of me, but it was available to everybody at a certain level. I love it.
Yeah, probably day one. Because
I was trying to remember what I saw.
It doesn't come out until January 28th. So it'll probably be available at that day for everybody.
Okay.
The season pass.
Wait.
It says it.
What?
No, the January 28th is an exotic quest.
Yeah, that's the Bastion. That's a fusion rifle.
Oh,
I have a really good feel. It looks gorgeous, by the way.
It looks like it looks like an auto rifle.
It does.
That's the scout that was in the.
No. I think the Bastion, because it has like a charging bar where two emblems come together. I really think it's a fusion rifle. I was looking at the video in the stream or in the trailer, and I really think the Bastion is a fusion rifle. I think the scout rifle will be right in the battle pass. I don't know what to call this bar. I know we're not playing what's that game? Fortnite. We're not playing Fortnite.
What do we call it? It's a seasonal track, right?
Seasonal bar. I guess we'll call it a seasonal
bar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that scout rifle is on that bar, so that's what it's getting. I'm seeing. That's all I see right now is I want to get to that gun to use it.
Yeah. So I'm guessing then that scout rifle is going to be similar to the Bastion, basically, because they look very similar.
Yeah, the scout rifle is a little longer, has a little more barrel. It looks. I gotta say, Bungie, hats off, man. These weapons look incredible. The artists are doing an amazing job on creating these new weapons. This is what we've been wanting.
Really are.
No reskins. This is a totally different weapon. You won't see this anywhere else in Destiny. I love it.
A few things that stand out to me looking at the calendar, right?
Yeah, let's look at it real quick.
We have some things that we have no clue what they are, like Nessus and EDZ Obelisk on 12/17, and that's when we apparently save 14. That's the other thing. So, are we dabbling in time travel now? So, can we go save Cade? Like,
I don't know.
Are we gonna remove the fact that Aldrin is apparently a guardian now? Like, I don't know. I worry that they're dabbling in time travel to undo some things that they have not addressed that the community is asking them for answers to.
We're going to bring back Trials of Osiris. That's what we're going to do.
Maybe.
It's definitely going to be Trials of 9.
Yeah, so a few things like we don't know what the obelisk is. We don't know what the Empyrean Foundation is.
Yep, exactly.
They're kind of hinting at the Dawning bringing back sparrow racing. Like if you look at that, they just show sparrows. So are we getting sparrow racing back for the Dawning?
And it not only shows one sparrow, it shows one below it racing next to it.
Right. Well, there's 3 if you really look.
That's a great point.
And then the other thing that, Gator, you suggested this Aztec Cross video, and I didn't get a lot from that, but one thing he pointed out was Iron Banner. So the biggest complaint for Iron Banner last season was there was no new weapons. Well, you look, there's an there's a bow, there's a hand cannon, and the Warlock's holding apparently a shotgun.
Yep.
So are we going to get some new Iron Banner weapons to grind for?
We better. I really hope so.
We better.
So, and then we've got 2 exotic quests and
sidearm this time.
Yeah. So I think that this season is going to be their first test with this, because last season was paired with the new content with Shadowkeep.
Right, overlapped it. Yeah.
This season is their first real test on this track too. Like, what kind of story is this season going to tell? Where, they're finishing last season, like how are they tying in Vex Offensive with going into, that's what they said. We're going to tie off this story and it's going to lead into the next. So let's see how this is the test. How are they going to lead into the Sundial and bringing back Saint 14 and all this stuff? So yeah, we'll see, man. I'm looking forward to it.
One other thing.
Yep.
Is PvP elimination is going to be a constant playlist.
I like it. Yeah. Good.
No, can we get Momentum as a constant playlist?
I like that. It was a fun. Gave me Call of Duty vibes back in the day. No radar. We're very, very quick kills. Whoever saw someone else first wins.
Right.
I didn't like how people would just camp lanes though. I didn't like that part of it, because I would try to go back and shoot the guy who shot me, because you could see he's just one spot just looking down, and I must have got killed 3 times. I'm like, this is ridiculous. I tried a different angle. He had that angle covered too with a Jade Rabbit. That got old.
I think you could do some things with it. I don't know. I mean, they could experiment with. I mean, for me, it reminded me more of Halo SWAT, where it's. You could still get body shots, but body shots wouldn't instantly kill them. Where in Call of Duty, like you could shoot someone in the toe in hardcore, and they're
it's true.
Where this, like you have to land a headshot for it to be a one-hit kill, or
That's
the weapon you're using. Like everybody complained about Jade Rabbit, but there was what's the Iron Banner Scout, the Talons of the Eagle, like that was a one-hit kill. So then you could use it instead of an exotic, you're using a legendary. So then you could throw on Fighting Lion or something else. Dude, a lot of pulses were really effective in Momentum. So I don't know. I really enjoy it because I really like that. I like that high time to kill. I like that just fast pace, kill, respawn, and let's go. And it also removes kind of, you have to charge your super, your ability. So there's less grenades. There's less, melee abilities. Dude, that was
more gun skill.
Yes, and I love that. And I think that's what the community's been asking for, is give us a game mode where you have to have gun skill. I really enjoyed it. That was kind of my jam for this last season, was playing Momentum.
I'm trying to see if there's racing gear on the Dawning. I'm trying to blow it up. On my phone. I can't do it on my computer. I'm trying to blow it up on my phone. It's definitely different. The gear is different, and the helmet the Warlock's got on, it's kind of crazy.
They could. Well, when did they introduce Sparrow Racing? Was it with the original?
It was during the Dawning. I hope they bring it back. I had fun doing it. Even though it's racing,
it was fun.
Yeah,
it was fun, except for that damn tractor.
That's what the holidays are for, is have fun.
Yeah, it's something fun.
Yeah,
or that forklift. That's what I'm thinking of.
The forklift. It was always on that corner.
My arch nemesis. No, he was like in the middle of the field.
Yeah, I know. There was another one on a corner though too. They put them in different areas. It was crazy.
The one that was like the arch nemesis of everyone was right there in the middle. You come around that turn, and there it was.
And if you better make sure you can juke, you better hope you have energy to juke side to side on it.
Yep.
Here's my question. February 4th, Imperium Foundation. I'm very curious what that is.
Isn't Imperium, like, wasn't that the name of the Eververse
Imperium
gear?
Bellicose.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was.
Maybe you're right. Yeah.
The Imperium
Yeah, I don't know.
photographer or something?
Something, yeah.
Cryptographer?
I had some of the gear, yeah. I had the gear for my hunter, but I don't. But I didn't see if there was a lore card with it or anything.
February 4th. We'll have to just see, I guess.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I'm planning on buying the rest of that gear after we get done this. So yeah.
yeah, that's the first thing I bought was silver. I couldn't wait. It looked so good on a warlock. But anything else about the new season coming up? When you talk about?
One thing, just to play devil's advocate, is that I guess that we all like kind of saw on Reddit that Reddit was kind of pissed off about the stream and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's just because people are trying to pull out basically like things from Season of the Undying from Shadowkeep. And they're trying to see like, okay, so this is what we're going to get for $10. Is that enough for what we should get for $10?
Come on, man. Really?
I know. But that's what
Reddit just finds things to complain about.
Of course. But looking at that, I mean, that calendar of events and everything, it's like, that's like way more than $10.
Okay. Here's my take on this. I think right now, this is of course my opinion, Eververse items are a little too expensive. When it's $10 for an armor, for a piece of armor, and it's an ornamental armor, I think that's a little high. I think the Eververse stuff's a little rich. I haven't really dropped a whole lot of silver this season. Even on stuff that it looks really good. I'm just hoping that I get it in an Ingram next season. I think that's a little too high. But my God, man, all this seasonal content you're getting for $10 lousy dollars, who could possibly complain about that?
Yeah.
Well, I
Reddit.
saw something pretty interesting.
Apparently.
That Rocker Dude tweeted, like what if Bungie was to release the salaries of some of the people that are working on this game, and you could actually see, what that money is going towards to pay for this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, look, the thing is the silver's there. To me, this is a better system than we had before because you could buy this stuff directly with silver,
Mm-hmm.
and you're not buying an Ingram. I've never had an issue paying for something that I know I'm getting. I've always had a problem paying for a loot box that is just random.
Yeah.
And
I hated that too.
you don't know what you're going to get. So we asked for that and in vanilla D2, and they have given us that. And to me, I don't know. I mean, yeah, the price might be kind of steep, and if you want to pay it. And if you don't, then don't.
It's direct though. So I
Right,
do like that. I think
purchase.
okay, a full set $10. Yeah, boots, cape, whatever, helmet, everything for $10, no problem. But sell it piece by piece. I know they prorate it if you've already gotten a couple of the pieces. I don't know. I just think it's a little rich. I think.
Well, are they changing what they're doing? Because so one of the cool things one of the things I like that they've done is, so they have all that stuff available for the silver dust.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you bought that Eververse ornament, if she was selling the legs 1 week and you
Right.
bought the legs, then the rest of the set was at a discounted price. Cause that's what I did.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's what they do. They prorate it.
Right. So that's fine. I mean, I'm cool with that
Yeah.
because the silver dust, the silver or bright dust, what it's called, you get that from doing bounties now, right? So you can build that up. And yeah, I mean, I wish I could get more bright dust from doing stuff.
Well, I was just going to say that. Mark my words. In even one more season, after this next season's over, everybody's stockpiles of bright dust are going to be gone. And then we're going to be all about what it costs to get it. Because, I mean, come on. Yes, you can still get a lot of bright dust, but there's a lot of work involved. If you want to farm bright dust, you're going to be putting a lot of time in. And then you got to kind of wonder what's your time worth, Right. The bright dust economy, I think, is a little back. I think it's a little lopsided right now. I think 400 bright dust to complete a weekly crucible bounty. That's going to take probably, let's just say on average, it takes an hour to complete it, right? You got to play so many games, kill so many people. And they said they're reducing the requirements for a lot of that. That's good. But 400 dude, I could break down one exotic ship that I got in an Ingram for 500. I keep saying glimmer for 500 bright dust, and it took me no time to get that. So I don't know. I think in another season passes by, I had 40,000 plus glimmer before going into the new Shadowkeep, and I'm already down to like 10,000 now. It's getting a lot harder to use that. Yes, you can earn it, but it's just a lot of work to earn that bright dust now. I think it needs to be bumped up.
Yeah.
I mean, give me 1,000. Give me 1,000 glimmer for doing that Crucible bounty. 400 just doesn't even do anything. What's 400 glimmer buy in the store? It buys an emote. Okay, so I'm gonna work and play a ton of Crucible for one lousy emote, and it's not even an exotic one. If you want to get an exotic emote, you know what it costs? 32. If it's this featured for the week, 3,200 bright dust. Think how much time
like the ninja.
Think
the
how
smoke emote I want.
Yeah.
3,200.
Think how much time it's going to take at 400 a pop for weekly bounties that don't repeat. Then you have to work on the repeating Crucible bounties. That's 10 bright dust per bounty, and you're spending 3,000 glimmer to get that 10 dust. Think about it. That's a lot of work for an exotic emote, man.
Well, you're also getting 200 per weekly as well.
Right.
400 per week. I thought it's 400 per weekly.
200.
Oh, that's even worse.
Yeah, that's even
worse. For Dawn,
yeah,
for the season of the Dawn, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I look at it as it's still changing. They're still listening, and they've kind of proved that, right? They're still listening, and I don't know. We asked for direct purchase. We got it.
I like that. I'm not complaining about that.
You know, so I think, and at the end of the day, some of these guys, you know, I don't know. They need to pay their employees.
I guarantee you.
It's all a choice, right? Like some of the stuff, you know, it's kind of seemed like I'm still getting stuff that I didn't buy from a couple seasons ago through the Ingram. So,
right.
I mean, if it's still where I gotta wait, then I gotta wait. And if I feel like buying it, then I'll buy it.
My opinion would be different, H, if maybe the Ingrams that I'm getting every 5 levels after 100 on my battle bar or whatever you want to call it, season progression bar, would give me stuff that I could possibly get through the store that I wouldn't normally get.
Right.
They're giving me old stuff from last season. I mean, for free-to-play players, yeah, that works great. But for the majority of us who played this game since day one, that's not helping us. That's just a waste.
I do wish they would change that Ingram to where I like that you can't buy the Ingrams anymore, but I do wish those Ingrams would reward current items, not past items.
Well, but yeah, I agree. And maybe my opinion would differ if that was the case. Then it would be about farming for Ingrams. Once you get to 100, then it'd be okay, let's get 5 levels, which is going to take some time too. But
yeah,
knowing that you could actually get that exotic emote out of 1 Ingram, it's possible. Right. And another thing I've noticed about the Ingrams too, they're dropping less and less exotic stuff. Just is what I've noticed. I mean, I'm level 200 now, so I've gotten a lot of these Ingrams through past 100. And I tell you what, I'm not seeing half as much exotic stuff drop. I'm seeing a lot of legendary items, not exotic items. So I think what they're doing this first season, they're just kind of just floating it out there and seeing they're numbers people, right? So they're going to look at the numbers and see how many people actually drop that $10 for one piece of gear. And then I think they'll start adjusting. I don't know. We'll see. Hey, we better get moving on, guys. We're pushing 40 minutes here. Anything else before we go on this new season coming up?
No.
All right.
No. Good.
All right, good discussion, guys. Let's move on.
Overtime. Let's do this.
All right, boys and girls. It's that time. Time for the Twitter and Discord questions. Every week we get Twitter and Discord questions from our community and our listeners, and we, as embarrassed as we probably are going to be, we try to answer them. So, Hazel, why don't you go first, man? What we got?
All right. We're going to go with the lovely Uncle Scumdeath. What is the best ending cutscene in any game? No Destiny.
I know. I love how he says that. 'Cause I'm like, what am I supposed to say? Okay, let me think. You guys go ahead.
Yeah, I'll go. I think for me, probably most recently and Hazel, you'll see this Jedi Fallen Order. That cutscene is crazy. And another one that is kind of an older game, not really an ending cutscene, but probably the most impactful cutscene of any game I've played is the Dom scene from Gears of War 3.
Oh god.
Like, dude, there's been 2 cutscenes that have gotten a tear out of me, and that's one of them.
Yeah. Ending cutscene though, because for me, like the best cutscene that I can think of is Final Fantasy VII with Aerith or Eris, depending on and what happens with her and Sephiroth. So, I mean, that was gut wrenching. I just remember watching that for the first time and just my heart was in my throat. But probably controversial pick, but I'm gonna say for ending cutscene, the end of Mass Effect 3, like the original ending that they did, not the one that they went back and added stuff because everybody was complaining, but just this is the ending that they wanted and that they put in, and they really didn't care what anybody said, and that's what they went with, and then they cared eventually, and then they put stuff in. But yeah, that ending of Mass Effect 3.
Well, since I came from the Call of Duty background, I would say Call of Duty Modern Warfare. I guess it was Call of Duty 4.
Yeah.
Where you were flashing in and out of consciousness and you're trying to get the gun to shoot the enemy at the end. I think it was the Russian. And I think it was Captain Price. He was almost dead too. He's like passing out, and you can see him. He flips the gun to you at the very last minute. And you're sitting there just, remember you had to just mash the buttons like really fast to get your hand to get close to the gun, and you grab the gun and you shoot the Russian. That was a pretty cool ass scene at the end of the game. That was on the campaign, of course.
Yep.
It's been so long. I'm trying to remember how I do remember it vividly though, where Captain Price is trying to get the gun to you, and
you're on that bridge and everything.
Yeah, and you're mashing your buttons. Come on, you almost have it. Come on, crawl a little more. You get it, and you have like a split second to make that decision, and you make the right decision, and that's the game. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, that reminds me of, what was it? Which Modern Warfare was it? 2 or 3, where you threw the knife at the guy?
Yeah, that was 1 too.
I think that was 2.
Was that the guy that was on the American like betrayed you and shot your team? Is that the one you're thinking?
Yeah.
Of?
You know what though?
Yeah.
I played so many campaigns; they all mesh together.
When you get burned,
yeah,
like you're still alive, and he throws the match on you, and you just burn to death. What the hell?
That's right. That's cool. That was awesome, man. They wrote some really good campaigns back in the day, and I guess I haven't finished the current Modern Warfare one. But I'm looking forward to doing that, at least a campaign. But all right, let's move on. Another question here. I'm going to go with Easy. Easy had a question for Agent H. First off, thanks for the support. I know the fellows are very appreciative. What are your top 3 UB games? And he says he mentions that his is Beyond Good and Evil 2. And I have to agree. I'm so looking forward to that game.
Yeah, I very much. So he kind of asked, so that one was an answer to like his most, because this was a tough question for me because I really like Ubisoft.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy a lot of their games, and he asked a follow up like, which is your most anticipated? So my top 3, Ghost Recon Future Soldier. Mm-hmm. That game to me has been fantastic. I wish it would work. It became backwards compatible, and it does not work on my Xbox One, unfortunately, which stinks because I'd play the hell out of it. My second is Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
The Pirates.
That's my favorite Assassin's Creed of all time. There's just something about that story that it was just cool. I mean, you were a pirate, and the way you became assassin was you stole the assassin's outfit from somebody else. Like, hey, you don't get any more pirate than that.
That's cool.
And then the third would be The Division. That game is the closest to me to Ghost Recon Future Soldier, like how it felt. And the idea of the dark zone in the first Division game, I think, was so fun. I have so many stories of being in the dark zone with my buddies. We were terrible. Like if we ran into good players, we just got nuked. But you would come. There was something about those encounters. Like I could tell a story one time. Me and my buddies, we came across a guy, and you could hear the other people talking, and this dude was just singing, and he was singing a song, begging us not to kill him, and we laughed so hard. Like we're like, dude, you got to follow us around, and this guy. This random person was just singing, and the entire like hours and hours of gameplay of just this guy just singing randomly. It was hilarious. It was so much fun. It was a good experience. Probably the one I'm most looking forward to is Beyond Good and Evil 2. I didn't play the first one, and that game looks
dope,
awesome.
Dope, as Admiral Nips would
and
say.
The fact that who is it? Joseph Gordon-Levitt is running like his company. And so they're doing like fan submissions for artwork for graffiti in the game, and players submitted music for the radio stations. I think that's really cool. I think that game is going to be something special. And then the second one would be, it's all hearsay, but please give me a Viking assassin for the Assassin's Creed series.
Okay.
That is going to be, that's the rumor that the next one will be during that time. I really hope that's true.
All right, well, I'll ask you this, H. When do you think Good and Evil 2 is coming out?
I'm not sure.
You think new consoles? Think they're waiting for new consoles?
I think so. Maybe. I know that I haven't seen a lot on it, and I don't remember if they talked about it at E3 a whole lot this year. So we'll see. I mean, It looks really interesting, and if it waits for new consoles, I'm cool with it.
Cool.
Yeah. You know what I'm waiting for? I'm waiting for another Splinter Cell.
They've teased it. Like what they had a Splinter Cell event in the last Ghost Recon in Wildlands.
I do. So. I really like those. Oh,
yeah, they're fun.
Next question. We'll hit H's questions first.
Okay. I'm looking at the one from Maddie Bot here. I can't wait to ask that one.
Yep. I'll hit up another Uncle Scumdeath one.
Okay.
To H. What have you bought Uncle Scumbag for Christmas?
Scumbag?
That's what he said.
Okay.
It might be autocorrect. I don't know.
It does say Uncle Scumbag. So funny. Dude, I have a plan for you, Scum, for Christmas. You were gracious enough to send me a t-shirt from your band and some stickers, which one of them is on my PC case, and you sent me some keychains. Like, dude, this guy, like, it's one of the coolest people in gaming through a game, and I've never gamed with him. I just know him from Discords. He's one of the nicest people I've ever met, and sent me some swag from his band, which I really appreciate. And so I have a plan for you, and I think you're going to love it. So just stay tuned.
Aww.
He has several questions for H.
You can always count on Lee for the questions.
He put some good ones in, that's for sure. Thanks, Lee. We appreciate it, man.
Yeah, we really do.
Well, you want to ask the other two that he asked?
Sure. How about 3?
Yeah.
What's your favorite weapon in Destiny?
Bad Juju. Hands down.
That's a good weapon.
Nice. All right. Gator, what's yours?
Favorite weapon?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Favorite weapon, like the one I'm definitely going to use the most, I'd say bygones. I'm a pulse rifle guy, so I like the 390s. Then the bygones feels really good in my hand. It's really crisp. And it's like anything else. You use it enough, you get really good at using it. So right now it's bygones. Now, if you said exotic, I would say Telesto.
Yeah.
But if we're talking about primary weapons, regular legendary weapons, I'd say bygones, but Telesto's always the best, though.
I've seen the error in my ways.
Ask H. How is the Telesto, H?
I don't know. How's that Wizened Rebuke?
It was good. It was. Hey, you got me a few. Yeah, you got me a few times with it. I was surprised too. I was like, Wizened Rebuke. Wow. Okay.
All right. Another one for H. How many hours have you put into Destiny 1 and 2?
I really don't know. I never look at hours played. It's probably more than, I'd say it's about average. I do take a fair amount of breaks for other games. I think a break is okay and sometimes necessary. So I'd say I'm about middle of the pack for most players. Probably higher than average, but not some of your hardcore players. I barely reached, just to give you an idea, I barely reached rank 100 of the season just the other day. So
nice. All right. And do you prefer PvE or PvP?
PvP. I'm a scrub. I'm not very good, but there's just something about playing
Another human.
Something about playing against another player.
Yeah.
You can't predict what somebody else is going to do, and you learn more playing PvP, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would agree with that as well.
Yeah, I think Ninja with Noel said it best. I'd rather play, instead of bots, I'd rather play people who actually can think and counter what I'm doing, and vice versa. I agree. That's the best kind of video game ever. Let's see. I'm gonna let you.
There's
There's
another one for H. By the way.
yeah, go for it. Go for it.
Last one from Uncle Scumdeath for H. What was it like to be Uncle Scumdeath's girlfriend for a week?
You'll have to
It freaked
explain.
me out every time Heidi phoned me. Ha ha ha. Good days.
That was hilarious. So I changed my nickname in the Discord to just the single letter H, and apparently that's how he had his girlfriend in his phone, was just the single letter H. So he swapped us, and Heidi was apparently H, like I spell it, and that's hilarious. I was more bummed out that you dumped me so damn soon, and thanks for making me a rebound for a week.
Aww.
Well, I got another one from Easy here. This is for Hazel. Now that you are dipping your toes into some other games, which one has grabbed your attention the most? ACO, Jedi, or Assassin's Creed Odyssey? Okay, Jedi or Witcher?
So, if all things being equal, I would probably have to say The Witcher, but I do want to read the books first. So, Fallen Order has definitely taken over my life.
And you guys are selling me on this game. I'm going to have to get it soon.
Wait,
Yeah.
Gator, you might win it.
Hey,
Ooh.
good point. I don't know. As a friend of mine says, my stripper girlfriend always keeps calling me back. And that is my lady destiny.
Nice.
This is from Chubby Wizard. Question for the show. What was your favorite part of the new trailer? And what are you looking forward to most in the new season? We kind of brushed on this, but we never asked what we're looking for the most. I'll start with H. What about you?
The solar subclass changes so I can start hitting people with my knife again in PvP.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yep. Hazel?
Saint 14. And to be a hunter again.
Well, of course.
I will say that I have made no secret of I am not a fan of Titans. But that stuff does look really cool. I've seen a few just not really screenshots, art pieces that they've put out. You know, there was one that they talked about in the reveal where it was like the helmet, the shotgun, and then there were some of the ribbons, and I think those ribbons were mentioned in the lore piece. But that the story of that Guardian sounds really cool, and I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I was going to say story, but I've got to say the only thing I'm looking at right now is that season progression bar to get that scout rifle. Now watch me get the thing and it be a turd in PvP. That's what's going to happen probably. But from what I saw, one-shotting people when you charged it, that's got my attention. We'll see.
All right. Which 4 game characters would you have on Mount Rushmore instead of American presidents? Uncle Scumdeath.
4 game characters. Okay.
That was tough.
Yeah, that is a tough question.
Like I probably spent more time on that, and mine. I know a lot of people disagree. So Altair from the original Assassin's Creed game, that game kind of started it all, and for that series, I still think he is the most probably ruthless assassin that has been in that series, and it was just a fun game. So I would put him up there. Another game that's near and dear to my heart that I haven't mentioned yet, Gears of War. So I would put Marcus Phoenix up there. Handsome Jack from Borderlands, because he's fucking hilarious. And then Link from Legend of Zelda, because it's Link from Legend of Zelda.
Okay.
Nice. What about you, Gator?
I have to agree. Handsome Jack would be one of mine. I'm just going through all my video games that I love. Handsome Jack, it was so well written character. I would say Captain Price would be the second. Ikora, of course, would be number 3. And number 4, Snake, Metal Gear Solid.
That's solid. That's a great pick right there.
That's the first one I came up with.
I forgot
that's-
all about Solid.
Yeah, that's the same one I came up with too, like right away. I'd go with him, Mario, Link.
You mean Mario? Talking about Mario,
Anyway.
right? Okay.
And then yeah. 20 episodes in, I'm looking forward to 21. And then I think I have to go with Cade.
I was gonna say Cade, but I'm not a hunter main, so I went with Ikora instead. That's a solid pick. I was gonna pick Cade.
That's solid. Yeah.
Let's see. Uncle Scumdeath has one here I like. I wanted to ask. He says, "Are you guys min-maxing in Destiny? I've only learnt what that means today, so I will be from now on. Shout out to Admiral Nips and Flip for the advice." Yes, Uncle Scumdeath, I am min-maxing, and here I'll give you a little tip. Find out what you want your character to do. Or when we talk min-maxing, I'm talking about PvP, of course. So I know I want some mobility. I definitely want a lot of recovery. And discipline, intellect would be nice. So what you do when you get your piece of gear, look at the bottom number. If it's not over 55, I would look at it very well before you dismantle it. But if it's not over 55, usually you want to just dismantle. But if it's depends how those numbers are distributed on that armor. So if you like, for instance, you want to have a lot of mobility and recovery, which is what I like. If it's a plus 20 of mobility and like a plus 12 or higher recovery, I might think about hanging on to that, because everything adds up to 100. So the more things you can get that are more than one level is going to help you get that you want to get at least above 50 on a lot of these levels that you want. I have a character that I have 90 recovery on. It's so nice. You don't have to hide from people. You get your health back so quick and frantic gunfights. And of course, when you're blinking as a warlock, you need to make sure you have a lot of mobility, because you'll blink higher and you'll blink farther. And of course, with that special exotic helmet on it, that adds even more. So that's my answer to the question.
Yeah. H, what about you?
I am now. This was probably the first, which with Armor 2.0, the revised. But yeah, that bottom tree Night Stalker, and I looked at a PvP aspect of it. I really wanted my melee back fast, and I wanted my grenade back fast. So my melee. I really like the invisibility feature. So I would try to go for more strength and was it discipline for the melee or discipline for the grenade?
No, strength is for melees. For your grenade, just discipline.
Yes,
and intellect's for your super.
Right, and so all of my mods, all of my everything I did, even my gear, I was trying to get more strength and intellect out of it.
Yeah, it just depends on what you want to do. Once you know those 3 or 4 perks of your armor that you want, that's the numbers you're always looking for. And what would you say your bottom line number is? 55, 50, 52?
Probably, yeah.
That's pretty low.
I mean, for me, it depends on what I'm going for.
Yeah.
Because for me, what I'll do is, I've got a recovery build that's 100. I've got a grenade build that's 100.
Nice.
I've got a strength build that's 100.
Dude.
Nice.
And it's those are my main things. Now, I like my recovery build because it's 100, but then my grenade, I think, is at 50 or 60.
That's still good.
So I can still go ahead and I can still kind of pop grenades pretty quick. But most of my builds are built around PvE, because getting a good PvP build is, aside from recovery, is, like a shot in the dark. Because what I would want would be 5 across the board for everything.
Mm-hmm.
See, and I think for me being a hunter, it was different because I didn't, you guys are talking about recovery. I didn't focus on recovery because, with my melee, I can go invisible. And that, to me, that was my recovery. If I got in a bad situation, I could go invisible, run around a corner, and then that would be my recovery time. So I didn't focus so much on that as much as, the other things.
Well, that's the thing, too. It's based on your play style, which I love. That's what I love about Armor 2.0. And I think this first season, this is our first time I think we're all just trying to figure it out. And I think this next season we'll definitely be doing more intense min-maxing. Don't you guys agree? Because now that we understand how the system is, going into this.
And they're throwing a wrench in it too, because you're going to have negative, we have those new mods.
Yeah, that's true.
Negative effect.
Good point.
So
that's a good point.
It's going to be tougher. I like that they're, hopefully they keep doing this with every season, is expanding on this Armor 2.0, because essentially, like, with this season, we're kind of getting Armor 2.1, right? Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
Because it's throwing another wrench into it. So I think that's kind of cool.
That it's like 2.1.0 or something like that. Yeah, it's true. They did tweak it a little. Hey, Hazel, I want you to read Maddie Bot's question.
Why me?
Because I don't know. Because I don't want to read it.
Maddie's question is hilarious.
Go ahead, Mitch. Because it's your turn. That's why.
There are other questions,
I know, but
it's like we're playing Russian roulette.
I know we are. I'm spinning the chamber right now. Boom, your turn.
Fuck it. I got it.
All right.
First time, long time. I think he means love you long time.
Yeah.
If you are out in public and need to drop a deuce, do you hold it or find a restroom? What are your standards for public restrooms? I work on the road, so my standards have lowered over the years. Thanks. Love the show.
Let's direct that to H.
So this might be, I'm not really a knock on Florida, but so dude, when we got to Disney Springs, I had to go. Like, I had to go to the bathroom. There was no stopping me, and I figured, like, I'm in the quote unquote happiest place on earth. Like, I'm going to be able to go do number 2, because that's my worry, right? Is you go into a bathroom just destroyed.
Yeah.
And that's an instant, like, nope, I'll hold it and wait till we get back to the hotel or house or whatever. And I honestly assumed that being at Disney, it was going to be fine. And I was 110% wrong. Probably the worst bathroom I have ever seen in my life. That thing was tore up from the floor up.
Yep.
So yeah, I did not poop at Disney Springs.
Really? You held it?
I held
all the way home?
That thing was nasty.
Dude, Disney Springs, that's a long walk to the hotel, man.
No, we did. We were dry. We drove there.
Oh, but still, even to the parking lot, it's a long walk. I'm thinking of that walk already.
There was
Woo.
Yeah, nope. I couldn't do it, man. So
that's fantastic.
The worst bathroom I've ever seen at the happiest place on earth.
Yeah. Well, I'll give you a little insight into Disney bathrooms, as I know them well. They're pretty. Creepy. They're pretty.
That's kind of creepy.
Oh shit! Now I gotta clip that now, don't I? Son of a bitch.
Do you have a hole in the wall or what?
No. I've frequented Disney a lot, so I've had to use the bathroom, and it's always number one. But if you gotta go, you gotta go. But the problem with Disney bathrooms is they're very fancy usually, and they have a lot of stalls, and they're very large usually for the most part. But dude, think of the amount of people that go through that restroom. Think of the little kids who've turned on the water or flushed the toilet or whatever, miss. It's a freaking mess in there, man.
If a kid left the mess that I saw, he's getting a reward.
I'm telling you, man, those bathrooms, I mean, and they got staff that's usually on top of that. They're very good about service and keeping stuff clean. But you just can't, Disney Springs especially, man, it's elbow to elbow sometimes when you go in there, and those bathrooms just can't hold up. It's a lot of people, man. But I mean, I've gone out in the public. My wife will not. She has high standards, even in a hotel. When we stay at hotels, we have to stay at very nice hotels because my wife, she'll check the bathroom out. If she sees a hair, she sees anything, she's out. We were on a cruise ship, and there was a hair in the shower. Freaked her out for half the trip. So for her, definitely not. For me, I'm a little less picky. If I gotta go, I gotta go. And the only thing I worry about destroying a bathroom is there being someone next to me in the stall, especially like a kid or something. Kids can poke their head up underneath there and underneath the stall and stuff. They can be annoying as hell sometimes. But
Gator doesn't play battle shits.
No, I do not. I like my privacy when it comes that time. All right, Hazel, lay it on me.
Sorry, I'm just I don't know about ever going to Disney. I mean, especially if little kids are going to put their heads underneath.
I'm gonna have to clip that. I'll clip that just to be fair. I'll clip that. I will clip that statement for future show.
Yep. Yeah. You spend a lot of time in those bathrooms.
Yeah, I guess so.
Apparently.
All right. Yeah. If your wife has high standards, I have high standards as well. I swear, man, like it just like freaks me out to walk in, and if I see like a bathroom that's, like the Disney bathroom, I'm like, I'm good. I'll take cramping and sepsis. I'm good.
I'm not that strong, dude. Sorry.
So I'll add to it. I did work for Walmart for 15 years, so I've seen my fair share of toilet bathrooms.
Yeah. Walmarts are the worst.
Especially when you work. No, dude, Disney was the worst thing I've ever seen in my life.
Really?
Yes, that thing was bad. I don't know if they went and cleaned it later, but the thing was blown up. But no, I usually, if you got to wipe it off or put some toilet paper down and make your own little paper ring, whatever. But
yeah,
I mean, Walmarts were pretty rough, but for Disney, that's the worst thing I've seen.
Let's save these other questions from Uncle Scumdeath for next week. They're very good, and I want to get to the seasonal ones for H before we we're at 30 minutes, so I want to make sure. Okay, holiday themed questions from Lana. Let's see. We kind of ask them randomly here. She's got a lot of them. All right, I'll ask this one. When and how did you find out that Santa wasn't real?
I don't know. I've thought about that, and I don't remember. I think I caught my dad like putting together a toy or something. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't remember.
Fair enough. All right, let me ask this next one. When is too soon for Christmas decorations and music?
Before Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Dan Finity had a strong opinion of that.
Yeah, I think once you get through Thanksgiving, whatever. Yeah,
I agree. Thanksgiving's over. Now let's shift gears into Christmas.
Yep.
But when I'm seeing Christmas decorations at Walmart before Thanksgiving, come on,
before
man.
Halloween.
Come on, man.
Halloween.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It ruins it for me. It makes it think that Christmas is very common. I want it to be a special time of the year.
Yeah.
I don't know. All right, one more. You want to ask one, Hazel, of those left?
Yeah. Real or fake Christmas tree?
I haven't done a real tree since I was a kid, and I want to start that tradition at the house. We have a really good tree farm here, kind of locally. It's supposed to be rated one of the best, and you go out there, you pick out your tree, you cut it down. I would love to do that with my family, so I would like to start. We aren't doing it this year. We are putting up our fake tree, but that is something that I'm really wanting to start.
What kind of trees are they? Are they pines or
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, last one. Do you spoil your loved ones, or do you like to be spoiled?
I spoil my loved ones.
Yeah, I think we all do. What do you think? Yeah. What about you, Hazel? You agree with that?
Oh, yeah. I'm all about spoiling. Like, my wife actually hates it because we'll set like a limit on each other. Of, like,
and you always blow it? You always blow it too?
Yeah.
I do too. Because our wives are superheroes, man. They do so much more than we do. I mean, I'm sorry, they do.
Yep.
Girlfriends, wives, and my wife will say, "Okay, I'm gonna spend so much money on you." I'm like, "Okay, sounds good." And she knows I'm gonna go over. She knows I'm gonna go over. So I think she tries to lowball me sometimes, but I don't like being spoiled anymore. When Christmas comes now, I really don't care what anybody gets me. If I get a few little gifts, I'm good with that. I'm not sitting there comparing,
we had an agreement this year because the holidays are rough in our house. So like Tammy's birthday is right before Thanksgiving or right around the Thanksgiving. And then we have Christmas. My dad's birthday is right around the same time.
Oh, wow.
Avery's birthday is January 1st. My birthday is in the beginning of February. So it's like everything stacks up right there.
Oh, that's a winter family.
And so I told her this year, I said, why don't we we'll just do stocking stuffers for Christmas. And that way we can still get each other something nice. Like, cause to me, the birthdays are more important. And so I was like, we'll go all out for our birthdays. And then that way we don't have to stress to buy stuff for Christmas. And we did her family's kind of Christmas gathering last week, and she ended up getting me something, to which we agreed not to get each other something for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
And she tried to play it off like this is from Avery. I'm like, well, whose idea was it? Well, it was mine. I'm like, okay, so who bought it? Well, I did. It's okay. It wasn't from Avery. Like, you can't do that. You can't do that cop out. So
My wife would say it was from Santa. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
You're like, I didn't buy that for myself.
Yeah, it's really weird when you say, what do you want for Christmas? It's like, if I want something, I just go get it. You know, that's kind of the way most dads are. They're like, you know, okay, I want a 2020 Toyota Tundra. There we go. Go for it.
Yeah.
You know? Hey guys, thanks H for being, for really researching everything and make sure you had an answer for the questions. It's really cool. And I appreciate you trying not to be embarrassed. We deal with it every week, so we're used to it.
No.
But thanks for submitting all the questions, guys. Just remember, we do have a channel in our Discord called Podcast Questions, so please submit them there. You can also tweet us, and we'll mention at the end of the show where you can tweet us, and we'll ask from our Twitter account as well. Let's move on now, guys, to and I just wanted to mention also that if we didn't answer your question this week, we will get to it next week. We're trying not to spend a ton of time on questions. I remember the days we got 30 and 40 questions. I don't know how we got through those, man. But we like to spread them out a little bit more per week. And we appreciate you putting them in there. And we will never forget your question if you put it in there. Let's switch gears now and move on to our picks for our Guardian Down playlist. This is a little sprinkling of what the three of us like and like to listen to, and we invite you to listen to it as well. Just search for Guardian Downcast playlist on Spotify. And H, what you got, man?
Well, my first pick, I wanted to throw something on there a little heavier, of course. So I went with a band I kind of found recently. The song is Uncharted, and the band is called Make Them Suffer.
Okay.
I just thought that it was it's a very unique. It's a pretty heavy song, but it's also very unique. They got a different sound, and I really like it.
Hey, you definitely have more of a metal taste, don't you? Metal bands.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool.
Definitely.
I like
metal
that.
Metal and punk rock. My next one's a little punk rock. This song, so there's kind of a little feeling that goes with this one. My next song is Bro Him by Pennywise, and the reason for this one is that at the time we started recording, it was the 6th anniversary of my good friend, former roommate, old gaming buddy, Chase, aka Yo Kill a Kill, was killed in a car wreck.
Oh,
and
man.
So it was the anniversary of that. It was his day, and I wanted to kind of throw something on there to kind of honor him, and that's what Bro Him is all about, is kind of, you know, losing the ones you love and pushing through it. And so yeah, that's Bro Him by Pennywise.
Very cool, man. That's very cool.
Wow, nice.
Hazel, what you got?
So I actually resorted to picking songs off my playlist that I have for this.
I know you got them in record time this week. I almost fell out of my chair.
Yeah, I figured you would. So, yeah. Yeah, I haven't really been listening to much right now, so I just went with the playlist, and I was like, random pick this one and this one.
Cool.
So, Start a Riot by Duckworth. It's an upbeat song. It's actually from the Into the Spider-Verse soundtrack. If you've seen that movie, it's the one when they're fighting inside the house.
Oh, okay. That was a great movie.
That really was. And then Bloodsport 15 by Raleigh Ritchie. He's a British R&B kind of thing.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear these. That sounds good. I looked through our playlist this week, and I said, you know what? We're missing a few really solid songs. We got to have these in our playlist. So my first pick is the oldie, but a goodie. From the 1976 self-titled album, it's Boston, with Foreplay, Long Time. This goes out to Skull. If you haven't heard this song, Skull, and you like Pink Floyd, songs like that, this is one you got to listen to. Yeah, that's got to be in every playlist. Such a great song. My newer pick is going to be from 2007 from the album Afterwards. It's Collective Soul, Georgia Girl. This is one of my favorite songs from them and brings back a lot of memories in the 90s when my wife and I were meeting up and starting a family and all that. first times in our new house and stuff. It was really good times. It's really weird, isn't it, when you think of a song and you can go back to the exact part of when you first heard that song and you can smell everything. It's like you're right there. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, hey, ladies and gentlemen, I think we got a show. I just want to mention, if you get the chance, give @Linksin, a.k.a. DadbotLink, a follow on Twitter. He's been a good friend of the show, big supporter of the show. And I want to give him a shout out also because he was thinking about starting, or was kind of gauging feelings in some of the Discord about starting a PvP league for PS4 players. I know the DeathRX clan has one for Xbox and for PC. And, like I say, me and H have played in those, both, I think at both platforms too. But he's wanting to try to start one on PS4, so I wanted to give him a shout out. He was putting out some announcements today to see who would be interested in that. So thanks for doing that, DadbotLink. Well, I think that's it, guys. H, let me start with you, man. Give me your deets. How can people contact you if they want to, and gamer tags, all that good stuff?
Pretty much Agent H everywhere you can find me. Twitter, Xbox, Steam. That's about it.
How's that H spelled so they know?
AECH,
right.
Like you're sneezing.
Right. Gotcha. Hazel?
Hazelnut, HAZELNT, pretty much everywhere.
You gotta do like Boost and say everywhere and anywhere and everywhere. I always like when he said
all
that.
Across the interwebs.
There, that's Baroque.
Baroque Weaver, yeah.
Shout out to those guys. You can contact me via the Twitter at Todd the Gator. You can also find me on YouTube, Steam, and PS4 as Gator, all caps, GATR, underscores in between, and Gator space GDC on Xbox. I've been recently uploading vids. I think Iron Banner, I have some Iron Banner stuff in there from last Iron Banner. It came out on PC. I like to use a PS4 controller on PC, and there's some gameplay in there if you like to see it. See if I get owned or whether I'm doing well or not. Be cool. You can also find us, by the way, on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Podbean, Stitcher, Downcast. I looked, dumbass. Downcast. There is, I looked on the Lipson stats. There is a podcast app called Downcast. Called me out.
We need to make sure that we're on there.
We are. We're on there because I followed the stats and we've got several downloads from that app. So it's pretty cool.
Huh.
Yeah.
Wow. It's kismet. Like we're meant to be there.
I guess so. Yeah. It fits in perfect. You can also reach us, like I mentioned earlier, on Twitter at Guardian DCast. It's Guardian_D_cast for show questions, or, if you want to DM us and send us a question or you just want to talk to us, feel free to. We have a Discord as well, an awesome Discord, I might add. Just search for Guardian Downcast on the Discord app, and I'll post a permanent link for an invite to our general chat section if you like. And I think that's it, guys. Thank you all so very much for listening. And later, Guardian.
Toddles.
Okay, Storm and Norman. Touche.
That's the thing, though, about this community that I absolutely just am floored by is that, I'm willing to say that we are all a bunch of good guys,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just like we all come from good places and we all want the best for each other and things like that. And it's just completely floored me that this community is so good.
Yeah. Look at Lee. Look at Uncle Scumdeath. He, not only me, he had a random thing was like, hey, who wants a keychain for my band if they say Uncle Scumdeath or Scumdeath Bastardo is a sex god. And he ended up sending me a freaking CD and a t-shirt. And I messaged him. I'm like, hey, dude, if you mail me a t-shirt of your band, I'll wear it and I'll buy it. And he's like, I got you. What size do you need? And he sent it to me.
What's the name of his band again?
War Crab.
War
Yeah,
Crab.
on Spotify, actually.
Dude,
That's our homework, Hazel. We got to have a war cry. We got to have a war crab song for next week.
That thing was tore up from the floor up.